The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
To win a championship, a driver must not go gentle into that good night. And what better place to hold a champion shootout than a track that raged against the dying of the light. Southern National Motorsports Park, who in the real world was once fated to crumble beneath the bulldozer blade, survived and now proudly hosts a healthy real-world racing schedule. But late this afternoon in this virtual environment, it plays host to a very special event, the Lawrence Towing Championship Shootout. Powered by the Bootleg Racing League, this 10-minute streaming award-worthy pre-race show will count us down to a full night of modified racing. And just like buying a ticket, the Global Sim Racing Channel will bring you everything from qualifying, a pair of heats, a last chance qualifier, and a main event. You might need a full box of Krispy Kremes to get through all the simulated oval excitement on tap. From the Tar Heel State, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm Bill Soupson, and I cannot believe my good fortune to be sitting next to Sean Crackers Ambrose, calling the action for this very special event. Sorting his way through the plethora of graphic overlays at his disposal is our director, Joe Peak, and the camera locations have been provided by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, Dougie Beard. Crackers, I talked about Southern National's fight to survive in the opening. What will the drivers need to do to survive Southern National?
Well, Soup, welcome to this 4/10 mile track in Kenly, North Kagalagi. And for those of you who've never been on CB Radio, that's North Carolina, folks. Yes, welcome here. This track opened in 1993, and as Soup had mentioned in the start of this broadcast, it's still with us, and I've been on iRacing now for almost a year. December this year will mark 1 year. Been on the server 4 turns here. Not a lot of banking, Bill. It's not what you would consider a high bank speedway, but I will tell you this, it's very fast. And the Tour Modified that we're running this evening has a lot of horsepower. So I'll tell you what, let's hop in the GSRC Modified right now with Brian Yazik and take a ride around.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazik and this is Southern National Motorsports Park in the GSRC SK Modified. Without further ado, let's show you how you get around this joint. Hot lap, looking to find the bottom right here. No other place to run. Hook that bottom right off of turn 2, swing it right out here to the fence, and then back down into turn 3. This track is a nice little short track, doesn't give you a whole lot of time to think. You just kind of have to drive this place on instinct. But if you do make a mistake, there is a lot of banking, as you can see right up there, that will catch you in case you have a mistake, unless that's off the bumper of the competitor around you. Then that wall will be waiting for you up there. But turns 3 and 4, find it right there underneath the start-finish line, back into turn 1. It's a very, very rhythm-based track. Once you get a good rhythm around here, you're fairly unstoppable, even to the point that I set my personal best time here on the 4th lap on the track. Really, as you're going to watch these guys go, this track is so good for racing. I mean, especially if you're up there on that second groove, you might be able to get a good run off of the corner and try to pinch them down, whoever you're racing against, off the corners. Southern National Motorsports Park is bound to put on a good show for these SK Modifieds as the race progresses on. But without further ado, I'm Brian Yazik. This is the GSRC SK Modified. Enjoy the show.
When I was a little boy, my dad would buy me a ticket, take me to Ascot Park for a full race, a full night of short track racing. And that's kind of what I want all you guys to do here tonight. GSRC is going to bring you the entire program. We're going to start off by covering the qualifying. Then after that, we have a couple heats, Heat 1 and Heat 2 to set the top 3 drivers of each side. First 6 go in there. Then we're going to have a last chance qualifier and the main event. So it's like buying a ticket at your local short track on a Saturday night. This is going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Sean, let's go ahead and start off first. The first thing that's going to be coming up is the qualifying. Now, how does that actually work?
Okay, well, let's break it down for everybody here. Welcome to iRacing Live on the Global Sim Racing Channel this evening. Late this afternoon right now on the track, they are going to run the Tour Modified. Now, the Outlaw Modified Series, the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series, usually runs the SK Modified. For this special event, the inaugural Lawrence Towing Champion Shootout, they are running the Tour Modified. They are, yes, running the fixed setup, the iRacing fixed setup. Now, they will grid. Now, the drivers don't know this, and I don't know if I should divulge this. Hopefully they're not watching, but you can see there on the screen, they'll be qualifying by those results right there. Qualifying is going to be solo qualifying, 2 laps. They'll all be lined up in the pit. They will call them off as the car on track is finishing up its lap. This will set the grid for the heat and the LCQ. 100% fuel in the cars, no tire change. We don't have to worry about that on the qualifying. No incidents, obviously. Now, they are starting off with a 50% track state for qualifying. This is an afternoon session, okay? And the temperature here today is, Bill, it's pretty nice. It's only 76 degrees, but it is 102 degrees on track. So could be a little loosey-goosey there for your qualifying effort today.
And of course, we're going to be here. This is going to take place in the late afternoon in the setting sun. Then we're going to come back for those final events. I believe only correct me if I'm wrong on this, Sean, I think only the main event will be taking place at night. Am I right about that?
That is correct. Yes, the
Okay.
main event will be a night session. That's correct.
Now you see them out there working on the track right now. They're in practice. Oh, getting a little loose there. That was that. The 18 machine goes around. Who was that?
That's
there,
Matt LaVenture in the 18 getting around there. Matt, a newcomer here to the series since you've been with us last, Soup. And tell you what, just recently won his first race in the series, and he's going to be one of those fast guys to watch coming up here in Season 4.
Now let's talk about qualifying a little bit. They will put in a time, but what's really going to happen is we're going to split the field. The odd drivers are going to be in the opening heat. That's coming up. That we'll call it the A heat, and then the drivers who qualify with even numbers will be in the later heat, the B heat, and they'll take the top 3 drivers out of each one of those heats to advance into the main event. Now, of course, there is a champion that it's champions of any of the 3 series get to go through, but when I did a little research, Sean, it looked like, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but it looked like there was really only one champion for all the series. Am I correct on that? Is it not J.R. Shepard?
Hey, well, that is correct. Yeah, JR really cleaned up this season. He had quite a season. Season 3 was a magical one. Dominated every series. A little bit of a battle there in the SKs coming down towards the end, and even in the super lates. But he was solid all season.
Now, I've been in the Bootleg Modified series in the booth with you a couple times, several times, but they're not racing that SK Modified this time. This car has a little more power. You said it's a little touchier to get it for all it's worth, huh?
Yeah, it's got a little bit more grunt to it. It's up on the horsepower over the SK Modified. You don't spend much time at all, if any, just wide open on the throttle. You've really got to back up your entry a little bit into these turns to get that car to plant down there near the line. That's really, really where you want to be to get a good, nice run out. The walls come up quick, Soup, and you're going to have to be careful because it's not good when you bang up the right side of these open-wheel modifieds.
Good news is we have a full field. There was some concern that we might have a small field tonight and maybe wouldn't be able to fill all the events we have going on. I see 17 drivers have put in practice time, and then an 18th driver, Matt who's out there, haven't put any time on the track yet, but 18 drivers, that's a nice turnout for us.
Oh, yes, sir. That's exactly what they were planning on, and now I do want to be corrected. The LCQ, the last chance qualifier, will in fact be at night. Okay, and the two heat races will be late afternoon sessions, and then we will switch over tonight for the LCQ, and then of course our main event, the finale, will of course be at night.
This is so great, and we are so happy at GSRC to be here to cover this special event. We've been covering the Outlaw Modified Series powered by the Bootleg Racing League for several seasons. They put on a good show every Saturday night, a nice, quick, short track event that, Sean, you've covered all of them, I think, pretty much most of them, and it's good to see all the drivers here today, all the big names coming out.
Yeah, it really is. It's almost kind of a reunion. Got a few new guys. This was open to any member of the Bootleg Racing League, so we've got some people here that aren't regulars or even in the actual modified series. Big Joe Hassert, some may know him from the Lionheart IndyCar series, Soup, and he's been running the late models, and I think some super lates. Now, Rich Blake, we've seen him run the modifieds before, but he's not been a regular. He is here tonight. Randy Tesser, he's another one we could watch out for. Don't know a lot about him. Know he's run down in the lower series and the late models and the super lates. So yeah, a few wild cards there to look for. I'm interested to see what any of those guys could do here. Maybe shake things up a bit.
Well, Sean, we know Big Joe Hassard from the Dallara. Of course, he's an open wheel specialist. We have to explain to him that these cars, even though there are no fenders, they're really not open wheeled cars, are they? Yes, you can see the tires, but in theory, they're stock cars with the fenders taken off, right?
Yeah, no, they are, but I will tell you that the similarity they do share is when you hook those wheels up next to each other. Yeah, it very rarely ever works out. These modifieds do not bounce off of each other very well, like let's say a full-bodied car like a Cup car does, or maybe even a GT3. It's pretty unforgiving in that regard. But with just a couple minutes left in practice, these drivers are going to await a pretty big announcement on how they'll be qualifying this evening. So I know some of them may actually have the volume on right now, and like I said earlier, hopefully aren't watching. So I'll let Lowell save that announcement for when they get ready to start the qualifying session.
Well, it's always exciting when we try to do something different with these iRacing drivers. They get so set in their ways. They're like old grouchy old men. And sometimes when you throw them a new wrinkle, they get a bit confused. So hopefully they'll be able to understand what's going on here. Hey, just to follow up on the differences in these cars, I bounced off many a wall in the Dallara, and it bounces off nicely. Boy, let me tell you something. You get this car in the wall here, it doesn't really bounce away. It kind of climbs.
It does, and when you talk about climbing, it literally, you'll get the wheels up the wall, over the edge of the wall. We've seen the SK modifieds on their lid before. We certainly hope we don't get to see any of the Tour modifieds on their lid, but right now, watching practice, I got to be honest, some have been pushing the limits of these machines and finding out that if you're not a little more gentle with that throttle coming off exit, you're probably going to be in trouble.
Some familiar names at the top of the practice time. Philip Temple's up there with his 13.4, 13.5 for Tim Knott. Of course, we've seen him a lot. Brian Neff, there's another from another name, 13.5. And Ernie Brown having a nice qualifying time with a 13.54 up there. 13.52, 52, and 54 for Knott, Neff, and Brown. Very close together. In fact, a lot of those times are close.
Breaking news, the announcement has been made, was not announced to the drivers prior to the practice session. They will be qualifying based on their fastest practice lap.
The order of qualifying, you're
right,
saying.
The order of qualifying, right.
Okay.
Fastest.
And I would imagine if Lowell's on top, I would imagine he'll probably be sending out, at least if I was organized, I'd be sending out the slowest practicer first. Do you think that's what he has in mind?
Yes, that's exactly it. Yes,
keeping the drama there. Lowell always good.
I forgot to put the caveat in there.
Well, that gives us a little drama, and that's something that the series managers always like to. You have to have a little part of the showmanship in you as well. So, as it looks like practice is all done, so now the qualifying session is going to open up. So, looking at this, I believe we're going to see. Sean, I don't want to jump the gun, but in theory, we would see Lucas Stinzianzo coming out first, I would think. Unless I don't think they're going to let Matt Hoos go. He didn't put in the time.
Lucas is making his way up, and he will be the first car out. Soup Lucas Stinziano in that Troyer Tour modified. They'll start lining them up and getting them ready.
In fact, they're going to turn Lucas loose out there right now. Now, what will happen here, Sean? He gets one little warm-up lap around, and then it's best of two, so the green will show next time he comes by?
The green will come out here, and then he will get 2 laps. And as he's completing that second lap, coming around on the back stretch, they'll send the next car out.
So here we go as he works around. And I would imagine now taking the green right here, I would think. Oops, that's not a good start for Lucas.
No, not at all. Ouch.
Let's see if he can gather up. He'll get a second run at it. Let's see if he can put in something a little better. Don't know how damaged it was this time. At least get a time in now, but I think he's going to call it a day there.
Yep, and that's going to bring Matt Shinoski out now. There we go. There's the double lot out on the track.
He did post a time, 14 flat. I think Matt's got a pretty good chance of getting in front of that one.
Well, he's got to keep it off the wall first. Oh, the car got a little wicked coming off of 4. Matt gets a good run out of 2 there, Soup. Good entry into 3.
Pretty blue paint scheme there on the 00 as he takes the green right here. See, now we don't have live timing and scoring, I don't believe, but
yeah. Yeah, they take that green as they're coming out, and they
I thought I was counting the laps that went by so fast. I didn't see it. He put in a 13.5.
And here's Lowell Jewell out and away in the Bojangles Tour modified. He is on his green flag lap now, lap 1, Soup. And that's a 13.751 for Lowell, lap 1.
It's going to put him behind Shinosky. See if he can pick it up a little bit better. Be interesting to see if these guys are faster their second time around. He had a 13.7 the first time.
Ooh. Not quite as good there
Nope.
second time around.
So Joel will fall down into the second position. Still on the pole is Shinosky.
All right, now we got Ralph Connor on screen. Ralph is out and away.
Connor in the number 9 machine.
Yes, sir. That's the Stanley Tools number 9 Tour Modified. Got a 13.9 there to get himself started.
That'll put him just ahead of Stinziano.
Wow. Turns a 14. So far, everybody a little bit slower on that second lap.
Now, I wonder if the track, I know this is kind of silly, but I wonder if the track will start to go away from these guys. We'll see what happens here. So far,
All right.
Shinowski still on the pole.
Here comes Rich Blake out on track, the number 4 Love's Truck Stop machine. Got a couple of truckers here in the field today. I know Matt Hoos is one, Lowell Jewell.
Making his way around.
13.6.
Not good enough. Shinowski still in front. Let's see if he can do a little better his second time here. Boy, these laps are fast. 13 seconds, hardly time to look at where he ranks before he comes across and does his second lap.
Ooh, there we go. That's going to put Rich to the pole, Sue.
So, Rich Blake going to be right now. He'll be starting on the front row for the A heat. And then, according to plan, Matt Shinowski would be on the front row for the B heat.
All right, here's Randy Tesser out on track in the Peak Modified. And Randy, late model driver, super lates, and out here tonight, burning down his first lap here in a Tour Modified.
Don't believe I've had the honor to call his name in any of the races that I've covered so far, so it'll be interesting for me to see how he does.
13.6 to get it started, not bad. Let's see how he does here on number 2. Gets really close to the wall in the backstretch.
Again, have yet to see a driver pick up on that second lap. Let's see what he can do here. Nope. 13.6. 13.6 is it. That's going to put Randy outside of row 1 for the first heat.
That's going to give us Mike Holloway. He's
Holloway warming up those tires.
He was throwing a little heat into him, it looked like. Holloway in the Menards, number 15 this evening.
Holloway's a hit or miss driver. Sometimes you see him up at the front. Sometimes it seems like, whoa! Sometimes you see him against the wall.
That was a hit. That's right.
Yeah.
If you're going to play him, play the hits, right?
Holloway's first time puts him at the back of the pack, and I don't think he's going to put even in a good qualifying lap here. So we'll just see where that cycles him through.
Well, it was a 13.6. It wasn't
Not
terrible.
bad. He put in a good time.
All right, here goes Big Joe Hassert in the Ford EcoBoost number 1. Kind of looks like Philip Temple's machine a little bit. Teammate for Phil, possibly.
Gotta let Big Joe know there's not as much downforce in these cars as the Dallara. Hassert, a wheel man though. He knows how to get that car around. Let's see if he can muscle that baby around.
13.8 to get started, not too shabby.
So far, have yet to see a driver do better, except for the first laps when they put it in the wall. Let's see what he can do here for lap 2.
13.6,
Yeah.
7.
Picked it up a little bit.
He did. Not bad. Good on him. Actually, Rich Blake picked up his second lap, too. Now that I go back and think about that.
Blake on the pole right now. Hassert, fifth fastest qualifier. Out on the track right now, Jeff Sharp.
Yeah, Jeff Sharp. It's another one of the fast drivers here in the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series. He He's always in the thick of it. The last race at New Smyrna, he was in the hunt all night. Things came up short there at the end for Jeff, but had a great run. Good season for him.
It's in a 13.7. That's 7th so far. Runs the 49 number. Reminds me of Kenny Schrader there near the end of his career. Used to run the 49 in NASCAR. Second lap coming in.
Yeah, that one kind of fell off for him. All right, I think that's going to give us the number 77 of Tim Shinoski going to come out on the track next.
Now, it would be quite a coincidence that Tim Shinoski was not related to Matt Shinoski.
They are actually brothers, Sue.
Well, that's good. Otherwise, I would think somebody's pulling a fast one on me here. In the 77, don't know Tim as much as I know Matt.
Yeah, Tim's been with us all season open and had a pretty good season 3. Looking forward to being back for season 4. Got a decent start there with that first lap as he comes out of 4. What's he going to get here, Sue? I think he turned the same time.
Not going to improve on the 13.710, sitting right now in 6th spot. Still your pole sitter, Richie Blake, and his brother, Matt Shinoski, in the 2nd position.
All right, here comes the champ. J.R. Shepherd is on track. Sue.
JR's noted for his racing ability. I'm not sure how much of a qualifier he is. I've seen him work his way back through the field usually to get those wins. Let's see what he can do here.
Well, one of the great things about this event tonight is we really don't know much about what these guys do in qualifying because they don't generally do it. But this has been fun so far. JR with a decent lap to get started at 13.6. Most everybody started there. This is critical, though. Got to get a nice turn. He's up the track just a bit. Can he get a run? Oh, no. That was a 13.666, just a little bit slower.
Thanks, Sean. You were so polite in correcting me there. I forgot that these guys do not qualify. The reason I'm used to seeing J.R. Shepherd start from midfield so much is because they invert the order from the previous race, and usually he finishes up front.
That's right. That's right. He does usually find his way up there. Hey,
that's why he starts farther back. Okay.
Matt LaVenture on track. Can't lose focus on him. Talked about him there in the pre-qualifying talk there. Matt's been fast this season. Let's see what this first lap effort's going to get him. That's a 13.5. That's a really strong start.
Well, if the paint job accounts for anything, he should be on the pole. That's a slick-looking car there. Matt LaVenture coming across, completing a 2nd lap, and has really made an impact on this series since he got in there. And up at the top, 13.4. We talked about guys improving on their 2nd lap. My goodness, he did it there.
Matt, one of those guys, got to race his way in tonight. That's a pretty good effort. All right, Donnie Moore out on the track. The Irwin Tools Tour Modified.
Boy, here's a guy who has probably run as many Bootleg Racing League laps as anybody.
Yeah, Donnie's been around for a while.
Go in on board with Donnie, get you a good look at what they're dealing with here.
Okay, that was a 13.5 for him.
Put him 4th overall right now.
Wow. Bill, 0.005 of a second, the difference between those 2 laps.
Metronomic. That's the word I like to use for that. All right. Ernie Brown coming out. Always fun. Always maybe the best interview on the series.
Good to see Ernie. He getting a pretty good run out of the turn there. Good effort so far.
Comes across and Ernie puts up a 13.6, 13.65, and then gets a little bit of the wall. I think that'll probably take care of his 2nd lap here. Let's see what he can get done, even with a little touch and a little bit of loose. And then, of course, we have to remember that your lap has to be clean, not only in road course racing, but in oval racing as well. You put it in the wall, iRacing does not give you a time. Ernie locks in there in 9th position with a 13.650.
Well, here comes the Winn-Dixie 60 of Brian Neff.
Not used to seeing Brian Neff out there all by himself. He's usually, if there's trouble to be found, he finds it. A little unusual to see him out there all alone right now, putting in that first lap time.
It's a 13.5, almost flat. Wow.
Number 2.
Oh, and he wraps the ball in the middle of the backstretch.
Well, he got in the good time 13.5 and said, let's see how much this baby can give me here before it gets out into the wall. Well, he found out. Gonna sit second beyond the pole for that B heat.
Wow. And you know, Bill, that seems to be, that's been the mark, I think, is that 13.5 on the first lap. It seems like you get the better run on the second lap. You hit that 13.5.
Here's a man with a few victories under his belt, Philip Temples. Coming around, looking for, I believe this is his first lap here.
Philip Temples, a few victories and 3 championships in the Bootleg Racing League, Bill.
13.6, about 7th position right now.
Oh!
Having a little fun with it. That's probably not going to beat any better. 13.6 going to lock in there at 7th position. That's an odd number. That would put him row 4 for the first heat. Let's see if Tim Knott, I believe, is Tim Knott going to come out? He had your fastest qualifying time, I believe. Tim Knott Tim Knott must have missed his call because he was second in practice, so he must have missed it to Temples.
Okay, well, that's all right. They'll still have a chance to get in if they're having trouble. I heard Matt Hoos was having connection problems, so maybe he'll be back and he'll get to run.
Well, what we want to do then is run down this entire qualifying order here, and we're going to do this, Sean. I'm going to take the odd ones. You take the even ones, because that's what we're going to be seeing next. If everything goes according to plan, like I think, on the pole for the first heat is going to be Matt LaVenture. Then you're going to see outside of him Richie Blake. Then in the 5th qualifying spot, Donnie Moore and Philip Temples for row 2. Big Joe Hassard going to be starting inside of row 3 with Ernie Brown outside of row 3. Lowell Jewell, 13th qualifying overall, inside of row 4. Ralph Connor Jr. outside of him. And then let's assume that Tim Knott's going to be starting at the back. He's able to get his connection problems fixed up. Sean, what do you think you're going to have there? Is we're going to confuse our director by doing this so strangely?
Yeah, right. Then we'll have Brian Neff, okay, with Matt Shinoski there. They'll be front row there.
1 and 2, right.
Yeah, and then we'll have Randy Tesser on the inside, and Mike Holloway will be row 2. Then we go back to J.R. Shepard, and Tim Shinoski will comprise row 3. And then we'll have Jeff Sharp and Lucas Stinziano in row 4 for that race. And I do think Matt's going to get things straightened out. I hope he's there. Hopefully he makes the field.
Okay, so it's left side versus right side. They'll run those top 3 qualifiers advance, then they'll come back and run that LCQ. All right, what we're going to do right now for the Global Sim Racing Channel. Yes.
Are we going to
interview?
Let's talk to Matt LaVenture real quick. Let's pull him down here. Got Matt in the booth. Matt, great qualifying effort. Looks like the key to qualifying was getting a really good first lap there.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, the first lap was critical. I think the second lap was faster for most of the guys, but getting the car under you the first lap without burning anything up, I think that was that little bit of difference.
You know, actually what we saw was a lot of guys struggled on, not a lot, but there was a good percentage of guys that struggled on that second lap.
Yeah, the track, I think I got in a little bit late, so I didn't have time to try and outthink the track. I just sat in it and went for it. And I think these guys have been playing with the rubber as far as looking for lines and kind of it wreaks havoc on your mind when you're trying to put a good lap in. So I didn't have that behind me when I sat down, so probably a little easier for me. That was a very lucky lap in that term.
Yeah, well, listen, you still have a lot of work to do. You got to get yourself in this main event, right?
Oh yeah, like I always say with the group that's here with the caliber of drivers and this tough little track. So a lot of work left tonight. It's nice to get a good lap in, but certainly the night has a lot more left for us.
What do you think about the Tour Mod as opposed to the SK?
I gotta be honest with you, I like this car a lot better. I like the fact you can get in and out of trouble with the throttle, and the SK is fun and I'm learning about it, but I really love this car.
Well, Matt, you had a great season 3. Big things ahead for season 4 for you.
Yeah, hopefully the work schedule continues to be kind to it, but I certainly love to run with these guys next season and try and get a top 5 in a championship, maybe a couple wins. That'd be phenomenal. I would love to do it.
Well, you got your first one, so you've gotten started. You've got good momentum. We look forward to seeing you in season 4, and we look forward to possibly seeing you in the main event, buddy.
I'm gonna give her a heck tonight. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Matt LaVenture, driver of the number 18 Tour Modified this evening here in the inaugural Lawrence Towing Champion Shootout suit. Maybe we could take that break down and get things switched over. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. Matt LaVenture, that's the kind of name that you want to should be a mountain climber or take you down the Andes or something, or through the Nile. All right, what we're going to do is take a break right now. Don't go too far away, because we're going to be right back, and we're going to cover the first of the 2 heats, and that's going to have all the odd drivers on there. And we're going to see Matt back on the pole to start that one off. Back in a few. Soup and Crackers, Bill Zahn and Sean Ambrose for the Global Sim Racing Channel, back with you to cover this great event here powered by the Bootleg Racing League. Now we're going to be looking at heat number 2 here at Southern National Motorsports Park, and of course we are covering let's get the official name of this event, the Lawrence Towing Championship Shootout, Champion Shootout. We've done qualifying, they've broken the group into halves. Sean, what's coming up here?
Well, Soup, what we got coming up here is heat number 1. Okay, and let's talk about that now. Heat number 1, getting ready to get started here. And for this session in heat number 1, this is the virtualgrip.net heat number 1, and this heat race is brought to you by Virtual Grip Network. They're running the Tour Modified. We talked about this is the odd number qualifiers. It's a 30-lap race, and the top 3 non-champions in this race will advance to the main. We'll talk about those champions in a moment. The finishing order of this race sets the odd positions for the main event. No incident cap. The restarts, if we have any, will be double file. It's going to be a new change for the league. They'll be going back to the double file here in Season 4. The weather here, still under the dynamic conditions, still in the afternoon, Sue.
And of course, this heat rate is brought to you by the good folks at Virtual Grip Network. It's a blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing. At virtualgrip.net, you can stay up to date on what's happening at iRacing and keep up with the top World Championship Series, including the Blancpain GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series. So if you want more information, remember, you can find it all at virtualgrip.net. Some good folks there, some good work that they do. Okay, Sean, we have the we have the odd drivers here. Let's go ahead and take some of this, look at the standings from previous the series that wrapped up here. We're going to look at the 2 modified standings first. Let's start by looking at the limited modifieds. Late models.
This would be the limited late models. That's right, Sue. And it saw J.R. Shepard, one of his 3 championships this season. He takes that crown, and it was a close battle in the limited late models. Tim Knott making a late season charge, almost took him down, but fell a little short there at the end. Donnie Moore, it was a really nice battle for the top 5. Donnie Moore gets there 3rd, Brian Neff 4th, and John Holcomb, who unfortunately is not with us tonight because, well, going around Indianapolis Motor Speedway in an open wheel 2-seater was a lot more fun today than being with us this evening.
So, Shepard, Knott, Moore, Neff, and Holcomb there. Those are your top 5 for the limited late models. Let's go ahead and quickly bring up now. This is the event that happens just after this one. Now, neither of these 2 events are covered on Global Sim Racing Channel. They happen right before the one that we cover, which is the Outlaw Modified Series. We're going to bring up that next one if our director can find us. He shuffles through all of those overlays he's got to find. There you go, Sean. Look who's up on top. If you'll know your name.
Yes, another familiar name. The same one, J.R. Shepard, wins that crown in the super late models. Dominating season by him there in the super lates. They really couldn't get him there at the end. Donnie Moore finishes 2nd. We had, again, a great battle there for really the top 4. Donnie Moore, Matt LaVenture, recognize that name, Sue. Matt LaVenture finishes 3rd in the super lates. Brian Neff comes home 4th there. So far there, Neff in the top 5 in both of those series. Mike Holloway rounds out the top 5, 34 points back at the great season J.R. Shepard had in the super late models.
So now we can go ahead and look at the drivers that we have on tap here for this race, and we see 10 of them listed out there. Donnie Moore, Philip Temples, Knott, LaVenture. What I want to see down here is how many non-champions that we have. I got to do a little eyeballing back and forth. Looks like Moore's a past champion. Temples is as well. Knott is as well. LaVenture is not a champion. So here's what I think. I think 3 of these guys are going to automatically get through, and that's going to be Donnie Moore, Philip Temples, and Tim Knott. So it's really going to be a battle between Matt LaVenture, Rich Blake, Mike Allen, Ernie Brown, Joe Hassard, Ralph Connor, and Lowell Jewell. There's a champion.
Yes,
so let's throw Lowell in there. So
that's
it's
right.
5 guys looking for 3 spots.
Yeah, and that's Lowell Jewell has that one championship, and he's happy to have it tonight because that does guarantee him a spot in the big show.
And he's going to have that for all of his life, so it's good for this. This is our first one of these events, and he'll be able to cash in on that championship for each one of these shootouts that are coming up further down the line if they decide to have another. And we certainly hope they do decide, because this is a lot of fun. Okay, it looks, Sean, like the practice is done, so we can get right in to the grid. Let's go ahead and start to get them. They're going to have one pace lap. Let's call it as they sit up on front. Here we go. Matt LaVenture up on front. Now outside of him, this is your third fastest qualifier overall, Richie Blake. Sean, who do you got in row 2?
All right, row 2 going to be on the inside there. Donnie Moore in a number 26. Philip Temples in a number 19 will start 4th.
Row 2 with a pair of champions. Then we get to row 3. No champions here. Big Joe Hassard starting inside of row 3. Outside of him, Ernie Brown.
All right, and then Lowell Jewell going to have a pretty good spot to start from there on the inside in 7th. Ralph Connor going to be outside, starting 8th.
Jewell, of course, as we talked about, has that championship to hang his hat on. Inside of row 5, another champion, Tim Knott. Outside of him, somebody looking to get in. He's got a little work to cut out for him here, Mike Allen. They work their way around. They'll go 2 pace laps here. They get the first one out of the way. Getting everything set up. I realize I have to set up some equipment here on this little timing and scoring setup for me. There we go. I think we got everything working now. That beautiful pace car out there ready to pull in. And there we go. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And leading them down into the first corner is Matt LaVenture. Here, a little contact back behind. Looked like Joe Hassard got loose. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he
number
got
1 machine
loose
hard
into
to the
the
inside wall.
Ouch. Let's pull that up on the replay and take a look here, Sue. I wonder if maybe he spun the tires getting started there.
No, I think he also got into it with Philip Temples. Maybe got loose. Temples also got turned into the wall. So both those guys came in. Now remember, they get one fast repair.
Ooh, they might have gotten together there. Don't know if I saw all of it from that angle. But
we see that
the green flag stays out.
Oh my goodness, yeah, because they went off the racing line. So I was just assuming that we were under yellow, but no. My apologies for that. Let's go ahead and call the action. Your leader out there right now, well out in front, Matt LaVenture, feeling confident now to get into that final heat. Running in second, Donnie Moore. Behind him, newcomer Richie Blake. We go back here. We're looking at a battle between Lowe Jewell. You see it on the track there. Jewell currently running in 6th position. That's Jewell on the high side. Can't get it done with that number 5 machine. Trying to tuck back in. Oh, and he turns Ernie Brown. Still no caution. Oh my, Sean. Again, Ernie spins off the racing line, so they're going to stay green. Looking here to see, I forgot how many laps we are actually going here. Is something I would need to know for sure as we look up there. 22 laps to go. Okay. And we're on board now with this close battle. You look at Mike Allen running in 7th position. This is an important battle there. Right up ahead of him is Lowell Jewell in the 5 machine. Stay on it. The laps continue to click down fast. We're now 20 to go. Lowell's still out in front.
They do click down fast when there's no caution flags that have come out so far. But, you know, both of those incidents, cars were out of the racing line, and it does not generate a caution. We got a fast one going on here. LaVenture still commanding the lead of this race.
Now, the guy in the magic spot right now, according to my calculations, is Ralph Connor, currently running in 4th position. He's got three cars ahead of him, but one of them's a champion. But I believe the guys who are going to move along is going to be LaVenture and Blake and Connor. Connor needs to stay ahead of Mike Allen right now. You see Mike Allen back there in 7th. He's got some work to do before he can even think about Connor. He's got to get around that championship. The Lowell Jewel there. The lucky Kentuckian. Lowell Jewel out in the number 5. Follow up, Ernie Brown took his car, put it away. He will not be back until the last chance qualifying.
Yep, Ernie made his way back out on track, but any chances of winning this thing are probably slim to none, and I think Slim just left town. Tim Knott getting a run on Connor as they head into 4, right up on him, down to the inside, fighting into turn 1, side by side. Woo, nice move by Tim Knott. Takes that fifth spot away.
Actually now Knott up into 4th position.
4th, I'm sorry, yes.
As we work with 12 to go, the laps continue to count down.
You know, sometimes you get gremlins in your booth, you know, and it just drives you nuts, but you fight through it, Sue.
I'm there with you. Keep the gremlins on your side of the booth, okay? Because they're invading me right now. I'm fighting through here. Trying to do a little bit of rebooting while still calling the race at the same time. You know, looking at Lowell Jewel right now, leading Mike Allen.
You know, the problem for Tim Knott is that Rich Blake and Donnie Moore really gotten a good run away from him. He's still a full 3 seconds back of those two, and they've got quite a ways to go to catch Matt LaVenture, who's now over 2 seconds ahead in the lead, catching the back of the field. Gonna have to work through some of this traffic, Sue. May not be that much time to have to worry about that, though, because we've only got 6 laps left, or I'm sorry, 7 laps. We'll work 6 laps to go this time by.
Yeah. We're still on the closest battle here, and this is, well, as Mike would like to get around Low there, Allen trying to get around Jewel, really not going to matter much for that transfer spot, because right now it's going to go to Blake, Connor, and LaVenture. And Matt LaVenture out there, as we don't need to go to it, though. Just tell you that he's working his way around now, working lap 27. Let's see, though. Let's see what Mike can do here. Mike's going to try to go to the outside, see if he can get that to work. He may have to give Lowell a little encouragement to move to the outside.
He's looking to the inside. Looking to the inside, Sue.
Like the position here, and I think they get a drag race off down the start-finish line there. I think Connor's going to have the preferred spot, going to get that. Maybe he can put that in his back pocket, keep that. Might need that a little bit later in the last chance qualifier. Two to go. Connor's up to 5th. A nice run from him. Started in 8th position, made up 3 spots, and in this series, making up 3 spots. Pretty impressive. Meanwhile, we go to Matt LaVenture. We talked about him after qualifying, and now he wins the first heat. Second place goes to Donnie Moore. Rich Blake goes to 3rd. LaVenture and Blake will transfer along. Tim Knott in 4th, and our final transfer, Ralph Connor. Just missing Mike Allen. Lowell Jewel, of course, will go as a champion. Philip Temples will advance. Joe Hassett will not. He'll have to try his luck later on tonight. So will Ernie Brown.
Well,
Sean, what do you think?
I think we're going to get another chance to talk to Matt LaVenture here in a moment if he makes his way in. Pretty solid effort there. He had that car hooked up. No problems with the Tour Modified for Matt LaVenture. I'd say he adjusted pretty well there, Sue.
Yeah, Matt can take a little break. We won't be seeing him. He gets to sit out the next heat, the B heat, and then the last chance qualifier. But he'll be back for the main event.
Well, that was a pretty good race. Aside from the couple of problems we had there in the beginning, not much trouble. Good battle there, though, between Connor and Jewel. They certainly were feeling pretty racy. You know, we know Lowell is in. Connor fighting for everything, though. So, yeah, we saw a pretty good race. But, actually, there's Matt LaVenture. Let's catch up with him real quick. Sue, talk to Matt real quick about that big win.
Matt, wire to wire, that's the way you like to do it. How did it feel?
Car felt great with the weather. Starting up front in this league, just because we're all so close, was that's a win if you can just keep the car straight. Because, like I said, everybody's so close in times.
Well, that's what makes that qualifying so important. Even though you qualified first, the guy who qualified second is going to get that preferred position here in the B heat. But then when you guys all come back together, because that main event is going to be set by the qualifying as well, you're going to have to find yourself out in front of the field.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful. The Lawrence Towing Series and Lowell put up such a great race. This is a really cool opportunity for us, and having you guys do all the commentary, it's phenomenal. And the field is so tight that's going to be really entertaining to watch. I almost want to sit and watch myself.
So Matt, tell me, are you ever really able to get the car full throttle here? Is it with the more horsepower, you able to get it all the way down?
Yeah, you can definitely get it all the way to the floor. You just got to be very particular about how you do it. I noticed earlier just kind of a burp on the throttle before you get, that smooth push on the throttle helped it, and that last one, just one nice smooth squeeze seemed to help it off the corner. But with this car, it's so dynamic because everybody can drive it differently and still make fast laps. The SK, it's so momentum based. You really get locked into a line, and it's about waiting for opportunity. But with this car, you can kind of be a little eclectic with it, I guess.
Well, with more laps in the main event, do you imagine that the tires are going to hold up the same all the way through, or are those something you're going to have to nurse?
Man, your guess is as good as mine. I think we're all trying to figure that out right now. That 30 laps, the tires seem to pretty much hold up, but yeah, once we're all together and the racing gets hot, who knows?
Well, so far, can't do any better than you've done so far. You got the pole and you won the heat. Good luck. We'll see you down the road here later tonight for the main event.
Thank you so much, sir.
Matt LaVenture, your winner of the Heat A and the pole sitter. Okay, Sean, is there anything business I need to take care of before we go to break?
Well, you know what, Soup? I just want to remind everybody that heat race was brought to you by Virtual Grip Network. It is a blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing at virtualgrip.net. You can stay up to date on what's happening at iRacing and keep up with the top World Championship Series, including the Blanc Pond GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series, which had a big race today earlier on iRacing today. If some of our viewers maybe caught that was a pretty exciting race.
Well, there you have it. We've taken care of business now for the A Heat. What we're going to do is take a short break, and then we will be back again to cover. We're going to be back for the B Heat, and that's going to be all the even drivers. So it should be just exciting of what we just saw. This is Soup and Crackers with you on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll be back in just a few. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel, and we are covering the Outlaw. No, we're not covering that. This is the Bootleg Racing Leagues. This is their championship, Lawrence Towing Champion Shootout, and it has been exciting so far. We've covered the A heat already. We've covered qualifying. Sean, let's talk about heat number 2.
Let's talk about the virtualgrip.net Heat 2. Still running the Tour Modified. We're going to be running it all night, and we're going to be running that fixed iRacing setup. Seems to be a pretty good one for Matt LaVenture, as he did win heat number 1. This is going to be the even-numbered qualifiers, and they will also run 30 laps, and 3 non-champions will advance from this session. Now, the finishing order will set the even starting positions for the main event. There is no incident cap. Better be on your toes, though, because we have to restart this race. We get a yellow. They'll do it double file, and that will be fun to watch. We didn't get a caution flag in the last race, though, so don't know if we can expect to see that. This is a late afternoon session. It is 86 degrees outside, 89 degrees on the track, 50% track state soup, and boy, we've got an exciting one on tap for you here. We've got some champs on board. We've got some guys who've never won a championship on board. One of those is Tim Shinowski, the number 77. His brother Matt's won a couple, but Tim hasn't. Looking to get himself into it. Jeff Sharp, one of those guys that's never won one. And Randy Tessert's here. Chip Dickert, Lucas Stinziano. They're all non-champions in the Bootleg Racing League. They could be a champion tonight, though, if they can race their way into the main and find a little good fortune here at Old Southern National Motorsports Park.
Yeah, looking at the names on there, we have 9 drivers who have entered this heat. 4 of them are champions, and we talked about it before. Matt Shinowski, J.R. Shepard is a champion. Also, Mike Holloway has one of those tucked behind his belt there, and also Brian Neff. So 3 spots available for 5 drivers to get on in. We'll keep an eye on that as the heat progresses. Of course, we're going 30 laps. Hopefully, it'll be just as exciting as the one we just saw. Of course, drivers who do not advance will get one last chance to transfer in the last chance qualifier. They'll take the top 2 drivers. That'll fill out our field for the main event. The sun begins to continue to set here as the shadows grow long here in the late afternoon. This will be our last race in this time of day. We'll come back. We'll be in the night after this.
The sun is setting. Let's look at the modified points as they ended here in Season 3. J.R. Shepard, again, the big winner. Won all 3. Swept the Bootleg Racing League for the summer season 2016. Donnie Moore, that was a real big battle for second in the points. Donnie Moore gets it. John Holcomb, not with us tonight, but in our hearts for sure, getting around that IndyCar today. Third, Brian Neff winds up 4th, and that was a top 5 across the board for Neff also, and 5th place for Tim Knott in that series. So great season in the Outlaw Modified, the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series. They will kick things off next week, Saturday night, right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Lawrence Towing back on board for season number 4, Soup.
That's wonderful. And of course, my sister-in-law who lives out there is without Lawrence Towing, she'd probably be, well, Lord knows, she probably would have been eaten by bears by now. So Lawrence Towing has been her savior more than once. It's a great folks. They do a good job at what they do. Also, if you're a business owner and you got some people parking in places and going, if you own yourself a t-shirt shop and people are parking to go get coffee, give Lawrence Towing a call. They'll take care of that. All right. We look here for heat number 2. We can go ahead. They're gridded up, so let's go ahead and call the grid, Sean. Up on top, really, I guess no surprise to see up there, it's going to be Brian Neff, certainly a veteran of the series. Outside of him, another champion, Matt Shinowski.
All right, and then we got a couple guys there in Randy Tesser. Good qualifying effort for him. Going to start on the inside. In third, Mike Holloway. 2 championships to his name. He'll start 4th.
Inside of row 3, he had 3 championships last season. J.R. Shepard. Outside of him, Matt's brother, Tim Shinowski.
All right, then it's going to be Jeff Sharp trying to race his way into the main event from 7th place. Lucas Stinziano going to try and do it from 8th. Chip Dickert going to wind out this 9-car field. He is going to try and race his way in from the 9th spot.
Chip's just going to sit back there, wait for attrition to take his course, find himself in the main event when these 30 laps are all said and done. Right now, I've got half my gremlins taken care of and kicked out of the booth, so I think we're going to have a little smoother call here today. Sean's feeling a little better, so I think this one could go a little smoother here. Keep an eye there. Brian Neff pacing the field on the inside, then the 00 machine of Matt Schnowski on the outside. Neff, of course, in that position so often. We've seen guys go wire to wire. If Neff can get into that first corner early, he could go all the way. Right now, the pace car is in. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. Neff takes that first lead. Schnowski's going to fall in behind. Look back at 3rd position, though, on the inside. That's Randy Tesler trying to find his way in there. Not going to be still fighting it, though. I think he's got a shot at it, Sean.
Holloway fighting hard up there on the outside. Really, really fighting hard with him. Tesser almost makes contact with Holloway. Backs out of a little bit. Still holding the bottom, though. Bringing some company with him. J.R. Shepherd right back there. Holloway really digging in up there on the top side, Sue.
Yeah, what's stuck? It's hard to be stuck up top because you can start to get freight train in here. Everything is important. You don't want to get too far back because then you find yourself in that transfer spot. Mike Holloway, of course, having a hard time up there.
Seems like he has a little trouble adapting to the modified. Someone not having much trouble right now, that is Brian Neff, man. He has already opened it up to 2nd on the field suit. Matt Schnowski, who did get a really good start up there on the top, lost it at the end of that first lap. Really, Neff was able to get in front and power on by.
So we look at that now. We're looking there at Tesler now. That's a battle for 3rd. Of course, Tesler is in the first transfer position. Oh, now getting to the inside. Looks like J.R. Shepherd, the 3-time champion from the Summer Series, looking to dive inside. Not going to get it done. Tesler comfortable, though, in that position to move along to the main event. Sharp also in good shape in the 49 machine. We ride on board with Shepherd looking ahead at Tesler.
Yeah, and actually Shepherd sweeps this past season. He was also Season 2's Outlaw Modified Champion, and so that was back-to-back championships for him. Looking to come back and take one more here in Season 4 before 2016's up, but right now he's looking to take it away from Randy Tesser all over the bumper of him. Looks to the inside. Tesser going to be happy to give it to him. J.R. Shepherd powers on by. It's time to go get Matt Schnowski.
Let's drop back a little bit farther to brother Tim Schnowski now. He's moved up into 6th position. That's also a transfer spot. He was in a tough battle a minute ago. Right now he has the buffer of Mike Holloway between him. Chip Dickert was real close to getting there, but now he's got some work to do. Right now, Chip outside the move along spot.
I gotta say, chances for Lucas Stinziano racing his way in are looking pretty slim here. It looks like he might have to get it done through the LCQ. He's a bit off pace right now. Already a lap down, Soup, and he's bringing it into the pit. Oh, he's trying to.
Well, he
just
didn't quite bring it in.
Nosed it into the barrier. Ouch. Oh, man, he has to take the toe in. That'll cost him more time. I definitely cursed him there.
How often do we put the camera on the last place car? Well, we usually put it on right before you nose it into the pit wall there. Okay. Don't worry, though. Friends and family, as we look at this battle here, that's Sharp.
That is Sharp, and he's going to win that battle with Randy Tesser. Tesser starting to drop back through the field. Guess who's caught guess who's caught Matt Schnowski? Mixing up my Schnowski brothers there. J.R. Shepherd has found his way.
That's a battle for 2nd, of course. Both those drivers feel comfortable as former champions. Know they're going to be moving along to the race that pays. Right now, they're just putting in the laps. Wouldn't be surprised though if JR gives Matt a little bit of a low there. Get a little practice in for what's about to come up as they work right now. Starting on lap number 18, just past the halfway mark.
Schnowski running that mellow yellow Tour Modified, and he's looking pretty mellow right now, but J.R. Shepherd going to make things tense. He's really starting to look at that run to the inside in 1 through 2. got it down there on the bottom. Can he hang on to it? Drag racing down into 3. J.R. Shepard's going to get the position for Matt Shanowski. He's going to try and cross him over, but doesn't have the power off of turn 4 to do it.
With that settled, I think we should go back to the driver in 4th position right now. It's Jeff Sharp, and he's kind of holding up the train right now. Randy Tesser is behind him. Here comes Tim Sanowski as well, and then you have Mike Holloway. Now, Holloway's going to get the free transfer. Those 3 drivers, though, up ahead, running in 4th, 5th, and 6th, are all good to go into the main event. The guy who wants to get in there is the guy watching the whole thing from 8th, and that's Chip Dickert. He's still within striking distance, especially if something erroneous happens to the guys out in front.
Well, we have long gone past the halfway point of this race, and Brian Neff is still running away with it. He's out over a 2-second lead. Car looks good and hooked up, and he shares a lot in common with LaVenture and the way that car is running this evening. No one's really been able to challenge Neff for that lead. J.R. Shepard now up to 2nd. I just don't think he has enough time to catch him at this point, Sue.
Now, in fact, Jeff Sharp beginning to pull away a little bit now. J.R. Shepard, we're watching him comfortably in 2nd. Sharp pulling away in 4th. The real battle is for 5th, and I'm not sure how aggressive these guys are going to be here between Tesser and Tim Shanowski. The guy who could be a problem is the guy who feels comfortable. That's in the 15 machine. That's Mike Holloway. But meanwhile, keep an eye, look right behind Holloway. Now the plot begins to thicken because we talked about it. Hey, here he comes, and now moving on the inside. That's the Chipster. Chipster now gets around Holiday. Why does that matter? Because Holloway's out of the way. That means that Dickert can now see the guy he needs to catch, and that's the 77 car. That's the transfer position.
That is a race right there. Oh, and he gets up on the wall and he climbed it. Ooh, Chip Dickert climbs the wall there on the back stretch.
Dickert might have been saving his stuff here for these last few laps. We've got to get
Tesser
going.
Gets loose. Sorry, Sue. Tesser got loose off of 2. Wicked loose. Side by side. Here they touch. The 77 is around.
Oh! And you know what that means for Dickert? He's going to advance.
Oh, and the caution's still not out. The caution's not out. Tesser's still having trouble gathering the car up. We're still green, Sue. With 2 to go. White flag is out.
Here's the white flag, and that's going to be Brian Neff coming around the final corner. Heat B is going to go to Brian Neff. 2nd place is going to go to Shepard. Matt Shanowski going to get 3rd. Jeff Sharp is 4th. Now there's a transfer position. We talked about him. Chip Dickert got up to 5th. He's going to move along. Randy Tesler in 5th. Also transfers. Mike Holloway 7th. Tim Shanowski going to have to do it in the LCQ along with Lucas Stinziano. Well, Sean, when the action got tough up there, when it started to get exciting, that's all that Chip Dickert wanted to do was put the pressure on those guys, and they went side by side, and they got together. Somebody's going to have a little work cut out for him here in this next LCQ.
Yeah, somebody is going to have their work cut out for him for sure. That was a pretty solid race. A little surprised we didn't get the caution there. I'm looking on screen here. Neff pulling his car into the garage there on the other side of the track, exploring the boundaries of the facility here. But no, that was another snappy race. We got those 30 in pretty quick, and it was competitive. I think if Shepard might have had maybe 5 or 6 more laps, he might have been able to give Neff a run there up front.
Absolutely, and the fans are very excited as they are upset with Stinziano that he's going to have to do it. Some Stinziano fans, you can hear them complaining in the background. Don't worry, guys, he has a chance on the LCQ. There we go. And then we're going to see about here if we can get one qualifier in, or one finisher in for an interview. Not sure that's going to happen. So what we may end up doing is, what do you think, Sean?
Well, there's Neff. Yeah, there's Neff.
Good job. Why don't you talk to him?
Yeah, let's pull Brian Neff in, the winner of Heat number 2, the virtualgrip.net Heat number 2. Brian Neff, the Winn-Dixie 60 Tour Modified. Congratulations, sir.
Hey, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
I guess it was all about the start on that one. You got a nice jump. Matt got a pretty good start there up on the outside, but you're able to pull away from him down the backstretch.
Yeah, I was a little slow on the pedal there at the start. I wasn't expecting the green to come out that soon. But having the inside line's a big bonus here.
Now, I know you have got some experience with the Tour Modified. I know you've run it in another series. How does the car feel tonight? You think maybe a few of the drivers out here a little off guard, caught a little off guard with this car?
Yeah, I think they're finding it a little looser than they expect, and it has a lot more horsepower. So, when you get back into the throttle, you got to be careful. Might see a lot of guys looping it coming off tonight.
Well, Neff, when we talk about the Bootleg Racing League, we talk about the champions that have been in this league. You've got 6 championships yourself, sir, and you had a nice fight this past season. Season 3 was, a little unfortunate there at the end for you, but you still managed to top 5 in all 3 series. We talked about that, and J.R. Shepherd winning all 3 of them. You managed top 5 in all 3 of them also, and season 4 coming up, and we expect to see you back there fighting for more championships.
Yeah, the competition keeps getting better and better around here. It's making it a lot more fun. JR and Matt, they're doing a heck of a job, for being fairly new around here. So I look forward to the new season. Should be a good one.
Looks like you might get to battle with Matt here a little bit in the main event. You looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long race. You're going to have to be careful not run it so hard so early, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see who's there at the end, that's for sure.
All right. Well, Neff, we wish the best to you, sir. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again before this night is over, and who knows, maybe you walk home with that big goal tonight. I believe we got $25 on the line tonight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to tonight. This is a pretty big event for the series. Lawrence Towing and Virtual Grip Network really helped us out, and we're really excited to be able to have an event like this. We've never done this before, so it's exciting for everybody tonight.
Well, it certainly has been the inaugural Lawrence Towing Champion Shootout here at Southern National Speedway. Has been a blast so far. Now we're about to get that LCQ race in, and that's going to be even more fun to watch here for another 30 laps. But the big one is going to be 125. We wish you the best there, Neff, and we'll see you here in just a little bit.
All right, Sean, I appreciate it. Hope to see you again here pretty soon.
All right, Soup, and that was Brian Neff, driver of the Winn-Dixie 60 Tour Modified, the SK Modified in the regular series. He sounds like he's focused this evening. Didn't sound like there was a lot of playfulness in his voice. He seems dialed in.
Well, what I did take from the interview was he was concerned about saving the tires. I heard him mention that wanted to keep the equipment 125 laps, a little different from the 30 laps that he had to put in here in the heat race. Okay, this is the Global Sim Racing Channel. We've got everything out of the way here for the 2 heat races, both the first and the second. We'll be back in just a few minutes to do the last chance qualifier. Hey, no champions getting in that one. 2 spots for everybody who hasn't qualified so far. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be exciting. We'll be back in just a few. You say goodbye and I say hello. I'm getting real used to coming back here. It's the Global Sim Racing Channel. Welcome back again. We're covering the Lawrence Towing, although Lawrence Taylor is pretty good too. Lawrence Towing Champions Shootout, powered by the Bootleg Racing League. We are now to the last chance qualifier. We have 4 drivers going for 2 spots. Drivers in the field: Tim Shanowski, Joe Hassard, Mike Allen, and Ernie Brown. Sean, why don't you talk a little bit of what's going on here?
All right, Soup. Yeah, definitely. We've got the this is the last chance qualifier, and Soup. You know what? You're going to have to take it away because I have.
I got
unfortunately, I got gremlins again.
There are gremlins. You know what's unfortunate is we get the gremlins worked out, and then when we have to leave and come back, they come back to haunt us again. They are pesky. Well, what we're dealing with here is the same cars we've been dealing with all night, and the setup is still fixed. The grid is only the non-qualifiers. Now, we've talked about it before. It's all the guys, not any past champions, and the guys who weren't in the top 3 from the previous heats. It's 30 laps here. There's the top 2 advance, so it's 2 drivers for 4 spots. 100% fuel, no tire changes as usual. There is no incident cap. I don't think that's going to matter. The restarts are going to be double file. That could happen, which would be interesting. If there's a restart, that would mean one of these drivers have probably had trouble. It's a double file restart with 3 drivers. They should almost go 3 wide for that. And then the weather is, of course, dynamic. And let's go ahead and take a look what the weather is like right now. As we've moved into the nighttime, I think everything should be pretty cool. Oh my goodness, put on your long sleeve sweatshirt. It's 65 degrees, mostly cloudy. Who cares what the clouds are like at nighttime? You can't see it unless you're looking at the moon. And the track temperature, because there is no sun, 65 in the air, 65 on the pavement as well. Of course, the only thing that can heat up that track temperature are the tires. With only 30 laps in here, that probably won't be that big of a factor, although we think that the main event, which is 125 miles coming up soon, 125 laps will be coming up here in a few minutes. There we should be tire wear and track temperature could play a bigger factor. Okay, hopefully Sean is working his way in here. We see right now as you're looking at that beautiful car number 8, and that of course is the car of Ernie Brown. Now, we asked Sean earlier about who we thought our picks were. I liked Joe Hassard and Mike Allen to make it all the way through. Sean liked Tim Sanaski and Joe Hassard to make it through. The one thing we were in agreement on is that Ernie Brown has his work cut out for him. Right now, the slowest practicer right now at 12.9, putting in lap times. 12.8 for Tim Allen. Joe Hassard and Tim Sanaski both putting in 12.7. Sanaski's a little bit faster. Ernie Brown, of course, the driver, the Hoosier from Indiana, and Mike Allen, a little farther south from Virginia. See where all these other guys are from as our director takes us through here. We have a Hoosier. We have somebody who won't want to commit to a state. Joe Hassard from the Midwest. And then Tim Shanowski from a Quaker from Pennsylvania. Driving in the number 77 machine. Okay, we'll work around now. It's about another 30 seconds here before they grid up. Now remember, there is yellow flag, so they can come out. We could have some yellow run under yellow if they crash into the... There you have it, just like you saw it happen there from the number 70 machine of Tim Shanowski. Now, you won't want to have that happen because if you run into trouble, there's no coming back here in the last chance qualifier. That's why it's called the last chance qualifier. No room for mistakes here. And now we're about to get to the grid here. 4 cars out there. Beautiful yellow number 1 machine of Joe Hassard. Joe Hassard been a little unimpressive so far. Found the going a little bit tougher on these very short track in these modified machines. 600 horsepower compared to the 400 horsepower that they usually run in the Outlaw series. A little tougher to get the power down. I see that there are now 5 cars out on the track, but one of them, of course, is that gold-plated chrome Mustang. There's your grid right now. Joe Hassard on the front row. Ernie Brown outside of him. Tim Shanowski back in the 3rd position. And starting way back in last, not that far back, Mike Allen. Nope, 4 drivers, that's it. When our guy confused our director there when I said there were 5 cars out there, of course, one of them I was including the pace car. Pace car driven tonight by the simulated AJ Foyt. Nice to see him out here. Of course, AJ, a veteran of this type of racing back in the 60s. It's nice that iRacing has simulated AJ to take that car around. Waiting to go green. 4 cars out on the track, 1 driver in the pace car, 1 announcer in the booth. It's lonely on the track, it's lonely in the booth, but now the pace car ready to pull off, and we should be able to cover most of the action with only 4 jumping out to the front. It's no surprise, it's that number 1 machine of Joe Hassard. But the battle is for second. Remember, that's the transfer position. Ernie Brown in that number 8 machine trying to hold off the guys behind him. That's Tim Shanoski in the 77. It's the battle for second that's all important. And while this is going on out there in fresh air, it's Joe Hassard trying to leave these guys behind. They work lap number 2. Ernie Brown, a veteran of the series, drifts a little bit to the outside, might leave a little bit room for the 77. Shanoski can't get there in time, watching the whole thing happen in front of him with Mike Allen, but Allen's not going anywhere. He's staying right behind those 3 drivers. Brown gets a little bit high as he left the door open, putting his foot in like an aggressive door-to-door salesman is the number 77 of Tim Shanoski. He gets in, and following suit coming through is Mike Allen. Dropping back to last position is Ernie Brown. Well, Ernie, it was good while it lasted, but you couldn't hang on. Now you're back to 4th. Now you got to get past not only Mike Allen, but you also got to get up there past Shanoski. Shanoski running out in front now at the 77, starting to get a little bit of distance between him and Mike Allen. Allen just has to settle down, see if he can get into a nice groove and run down that 77 machine. And I believe my partner Crackers, I missed you.
Yeah, buddy, I'm back and got a great race going on here. Shanoski holding down to that second spot right now, but Big Joe Hassard showing the way for these guys.
Yeah, while you were away, and that number 2 spot was going to Ernie Brown for a long time. He did a good job of holding it till he made a mistake, and then, boy, they pounced on him quick. So now I believe this is interesting. Hassard might be beginning to slow down because I think Shanoski be able to run him down a bit. And Shanoski's not going to wait too long because he's got to worry about, wait a minute, what happened to, there he is, Mike Allen. Sorry, my mistake. I thought Mike was running third. And Hassard now beginning to lose a little bit of that interval that he had before. It was, last time around, the interval was 0.6 of a second. Right now as they go around, just about the same. We ride on board the leader, looking back off of that Menards car, back at Tim Shanoski.
Yeah, Joe's been digging hard. I'm sure those tires are probably starting to talk to him a little bit. That right rear is probably starting to get a little upset with him.
Now my rods and cones are always a little bit faulty, but is that yellow? Is that like the Menard yellow that I'm so used to seeing?
It's the Menard blue trimmed in the Menard yellow. So.
Okay, there we go. Looking up there around the number 1 there. Love those Menard cars in real world racing. Always easy to find. But meanwhile, right here on the track, we got a little bit of a battle going on for the lead. Tim Shanoski trying to run down Joe Hassard. As they work now halfway mark. Don't know how much of a fight these guys are going to put in. Both of these drivers have the ability to maybe win the main event if they can get a good finish here and get in. Certainly Hassard has a reputation of winning races. Not so much in the Bootleg series, but in other races that we've covered here on the Global Sim Racing channel.
He'd sure love to get one tonight and race his way into that main event.
That would be a nice feather in his cap for sure. Wouldn't be surprised if he brought that up in a Lionheart interview.
On board with Shanoski here, riding over the front hood of that car. A giant air breather stuck there on top. You can find him there on Twitter at WPA iRacing.
Now, of course, the good news for these 2 drivers is if everything stays the same, stays copacetic, they will make the main event. The bad news is they'll be starting at the back. But with 125 laps, and attrition could play a big factor. Who could say if you can't win from the back? We've seen it done before.
125 laps is that's plenty of time to get it done. It's also uncharted territory for these guys. You know, they used to race 75, then they kicked it up to 100. They're going to run 125 tonight with no tire changes, Soup. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's very interesting as we heard the different opinions between LaVenture and Neff. Neff saying, boy, you got to take care of the tires, and LaVenture saying, I'm not sure what you got to do. So well, I wonder if LaVenture was listening to the interview. He may have picked up a few things. Neff may want to play his cards closer to the vest there as they work now lap 23 with 7 to go. Things are settling down pretty much. It looks like it's going to be Hassard and Shinaski advancing unless Martians attack. Got a little bit of a battle going on for third right now as Mike Allen beginning to drop back. Ernie Brown, a veteran of the series, is going to try to put on a little bit of show for us here.
Yeah, I was hoping for some good luck there for Ernie. Would have loved to see him get here up front, but Soupy's running out of time. We only got 7 laps to go.
Well, if he can get around Mike Allen, then all he needs is a little unluckiness to strike Joe Hassard or Mike Shinaski, and he can get into that main event. But if luck is going to strike, it better strike quick as they work lap 26 right now.
Well, it's been the Big Joe show so far, and he's got a good lead on Tim Shinaski.
4 cars on the track, 2 drivers in the booth, and a partridge in a pear tree as we work our way here around lap number 27. So excited that the Bootleg Racing League will be back next season. I believe we're going to be covering the Outlaw Modified Series one more time.
Oh, not just one more time. We're going to be here for a long time with the Bootleg Racing Series. In fact, we are going to be back in 2017. Soup, you hadn't been around much, but Lawrence Towing's going to be back for Season 4, yes, for the Outlaw Modified Series. But the big news is they're going to be back in 2017 for dirt racing on Tuesday nights.
Well, right now, it's Saturday night right now, and winning the checkered flag here in the last chance qualifying is Mike Allen. We hear
Joe
the
Hassard.
Fireworks going off at night. I'm sorry, Joe Hassard.
Big
sorry.
Joe Hassard.
Sorry, friends and family of Mike Allen got all excited there. Tim Shinaski going to finish in second, also qualify, transfer over. Mike Allen and Ernie Brown, we'd like to wish you guys a good night. Why don't you peek up right now and enjoy the fireworks because your night is over, but we sure did enjoy having you here. We'll stick around a little bit to see if we can talk to maybe the race winner here and see if Joe has any plans, if he can think of any way to get up as he's out there right now busy doing donuts. I wonder if we can get Joe in right now while he's doing those donuts. No?
No, when he's done with the donuts, he'll come over. I'm sure Big Joe Hassard will want to jump in the booth for just a moment and wax poetic with us there for a second.
Joe doing a nice job. I think he burned in a nice JH on the track there. He burned his initials in with that donuts. Nice job, Joe. Very talented.
Yeah, and look who's shun up and is ready to go. There he is, Big Joe Hassard, the #1 Menards Tour Modified. Joe, you raced your way into the big show, baby.
Yay! Would you believe that was my first full race in this car, besides the 1 lap I made last time?
Joe, it's going to get even more full than that. You got to do 125. Can you hang in there? Can you keep up?
I hope so. I mean, based on my qualifying time, I was within a tenth and a half of those guys, and I know they're really good, but I'm not gonna back down just because I'm a rookie in this car. I know my way around a track, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I can start to make my way up front, or I don't know. I don't know what to expect because I haven't done much in this thing, so it'll be interesting.
Joe, it's super. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt. What do you think about tires? You have some experience with that. From the 30 laps you filled out there, do you think they're going to be going away after 125?
They're going away after about 10. I think my practice times I was running just under in the 12s, like 12.7s, 12.8s. And by the end there, we were already dropping off 4 or 5 tenths. And I don't know if that was just not having anybody right on my tail end, but I could definitely feel it sliding. So the drop off is there, so it's going to be important to save tires in the next race.
Well, let me give you a little word of advice, as I've covered this series a few times and I've watched this mistake happen. Make sure you uncheck the fresh tires when you come in if you get a fast repair, because you don't get any new ones and you don't want to throw your race away. So make sure to uncheck that box.
Will do. You guys are the perfect two to call this track too, because I've been referring to it as the Soup Bowl because of how you drop in and you go around the corner and it feels like you're turning through a bowl of soup, a cereal bowl, and we got Soup and Crackers calling the Soup Bowl race. So
well, that's good. We got to get Sean, we got to find you a Crackers race that you can call, okay? Maybe a track that's all broken up with lots of cracks. Okay. Hey, Joe.
Maybe Indianapolis. There you go.
Square.
That's
all
one big cracker, baby.
Yeah.
Good luck, Joe, in the upcoming event. Let's see how far you can get up the field, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Joe Hassard, your winner of the Last Chance qualifier. He'll be starting in the back of the main event. Okay. Sean, this is am I done here? Is there any other business?
Well, you know what? Yeah, we've actually got some more breaking news this evening. We're going to break news the second time. Well, Lowell Jewell and the guys at the Bootleg Racing League and everybody from Lawrence Towing are happy to let everybody know that, you know what, everybody's going to get a chance at that $25 tonight. There are only 2 cars that didn't make the main, and it seems really unfair to just send 2 guys home. So they're going to let them start from the back of the field there, get him in the race. But I'll tell you what, that whole session there was a lot of fun. But I want to remind everybody that the Last Chance qualifier and those qualifying races were all brought to you by Virtual Grip Network, and so happy to have them on board as a sponsor. You can find them at virtualgrip.net, and you can stay up to date with what's happening in iRacing. Visit them again at virtualgrip.net. Soup. This was a lot of fun, buddy, but man, we've got 125 laps of tour modified racing to go here at Southern National Motorsports Park. I can't wait to get started.
I like it. Orange slices for everybody. That's the way we like to do it. Okay, now I think we got all the out of the housekeeping out of the way, so we're going to take a short break so we can reboot the next race, get that thing launched and ready to go. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. Soup and Crackers with you. We'll be back to cover the Lawrence Towing champion shootout, the main event, 125 laps of excitement in just a few minutes. Back in a short time. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel coming back to you for the next to last time here for the Lawrence Towing Champions Shootout. Powered by, you see right there, powered by the Bootleg Racing League. And we're here for the main event. We've done 2 heats qualifying before that, last chance qualifier, and now we have a chance to talk to one of the drivers that's always close to my heart. That's Mike Holloway. Mike Holloway's in this event, and you never know what you're going to get from Mike. You can see him running in the back half of the track. Sometimes you'll see him running up front. Mike, you got a copy?
Yeah, I'm with you.
What's going to be tonight? You're going to be up front, you're going to be back in the back?
Well, there's really no way of telling. I'm starting towards the back, but I'm practicing towards the front, so this could be pretty interesting.
What's the strategy with tires? 125 laps, a little farther than you guys usually go in this, with the Outlaw Modified Series. A little more horsepower under the car. Think tires might be a factor?
Oh, I think there's no doubt about it. I think tire management's probably going to be the key to this race. In the heat races, we're running 30 laps, and they were already falling off pretty good. So I think tires is really what's going to make this whole thing interesting.
That's where I think some of you veterans who've been around for a while may have it on some of these hotshot newcomers that don't know how to manage their stuff. We'll see if the old timers can get it done. The passing looks like it's the only way to pass is down low, right?
Well, it was in the daytime, but we've raced here previously, and it seems like as the sun goes down, track cools off, that outside lane will open up a little bit. So it really depends on the track state. It seems to be in a good state right now, and I think you might see some outside stuff.
Before I let you go, let's get a little preview of what might be coming up here sometime next year. Are you up for some dirt racing if the Bootleg Racing League goes that direction?
Absolutely, and I can't wait for it. It won't get here fast enough for me. I mean, it's going to be I think for all of us, it's going to be, you never know what you're going to get, because it's so different what we're doing. It's probably obviously going to be a little harder than what we're used to, but I'm ready for it.
Well, if you ever get a chance, let the series officials know that they don't need to get a handle on it before they can come to the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'd like to cover the learning process as well, so feel free to let the powers that be know to get that on broadcast.
I will certainly pass that message along for you.
Okay. All right, Mike, good luck to you today. Got 125 laps to get to the front. Take your time, and we'll see you there when it counts.
All right, thanks, Soup. I appreciate it.
Mike Holloway in the number 15 machine today. Sean sounds like he feels pretty confident about what he's got under him.
Yeah, it does. And as he said, he's looking pretty good there in qualifying right now. But let's talk a little bit about the Lawrence Towing Champion Shootout tonight. This main event, $25 to the winner. And the grid is set by these results here from our heat races and the LCQ. 125 laps, Soup. We just talked about it there. And that is going to be a challenge for every one of these drivers tonight. Now, they do get one fast repair. You get one more chance to get it right, but you still can't take any tires. You need to make sure you have those unchecked. You take any tires, then you might as well keep it parked in the pits, because that is a major penalty. Now, it'll be 100% fuel. They'll be able to make it 125 laps. It'll really be a battle of the tires tonight. No incident cap. Now, this is the big thing. The track state is now 80%. We are here at night, 80% track state. So we were at 50. We're up to 80 now. It's 80 degrees out and 80 degrees on track. So I expect to see some very, very fast side-by-side racing in this main event this evening.
Thanks, Sean. That's a good recap. It should be fun. Okay, friends, fans of Mayberry, if you ever watch the Andy Taylor Show, you want to feel right at home, we're going to bring in one of my favorite guys to interview right now, and that's going to be Ernie Brown. Let's bring him in right now. Here we go. Ernie, you got a copy?
Sure do, buddy. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good. Hey, Christmas came a little early there. Everybody gets an orange slice. They're going to let you race.
Yeah. Got to think low for that, man. Think Lawrence Towing and Virtual Grip. Yeah, I was glad to hear that, man. I was kind of bummed out.
Now, here's what I'm thinking. When Sean and I were talking, apparently everyone's beginning to think the tires are going to become a big factor in this one. I think veterans like you who know how to sit back there and nurse that car for early stages, wait for a late yellow, have something under them at the end, got a shot at this thing, having a good showing. What do you think?
Yeah, the track is really tight for me. I can't find any speed right now, so I know as it goes on, this car is notorious for getting loose. So yeah, I'm just gonna chill back and let them guys run their tires down, and I'll pick my time and I'll start moving up.
We were talking to Holloway about the chances of going to dirt and what he thought about it. Mike was all for it. How are you feeling about dirt becoming a part of this bootleg family coming up soon?
Oh, I can't wait. That's what I cut my teeth on in racing. That's what I learned on. And to me, asphalt was always taking you to the track, and once you got there, it was all dirt.
That's a great line. That's very cool. Well, Ernie, good luck to you here. I'm so glad that you got to race in there. You'll be starting at the back, but 125 laps, plenty of time.
Oh, yeah. Just patience. That's all it's going to take, and I'll get up there.
Sean, Ernie Brown, starting from the back. Good to always fun. Always feel good when I talk to Ernie. Don't know what it is, but it always puts a smile on my face.
Hey, Soup, why don't we go ahead and talk to Philip Temples? He's nice enough to come down and talk to us. Phil Temples, the driver of the number 19 Tour Modified tonight. Phil, what's it like driving this Tour Modified? Phil, you got me? There you are.
I think it makes them speechless, I think is what happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This car's a blast, man. It's fun to drive.
Well, it's fun to drive indeed. Do you like the prospect, though, of having to make those tires last 125 laps tonight?
I would like it if this thing was 200 laps long. I think tonight's just going to be about laying back and saving the equipment and surviving the carnage.
You expect to see some carnage. Okay, well, we are here at night. The track conditions look pristine. So 80% track state. Side-by-side racing it's going to be a must, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that the second groove is going to be really good. But probably about 50 laps into this thing, and you should start seeing some great racing at that time.
Okay, so I'm going to make a note here, lap 50. Keep an eye on that, and be sure to keep an eye on that Ford EcoBoost machine all night. The number 19. You'd certainly like to go home with that $25 tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
And maybe some bragging rights too, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm not much of a bragger. I let my stuff show for me on the track.
Well, Phil, I hope you get her in victory lane tonight, buddy. We'd sure love to see you win this Lawrence Towing Outlaw Shootout this evening, and we thank you for coming in. Go back out there and get a couple more laps in.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
All right, Soup. That Phil Temples there got the SK Tour. The Tour Modified ready to go this evening. Another driver that actually. I got another one that was really serious this evening, Soup.
Yeah, you're kind of like the "you kids get off my lawn" type guy. My guys were in much better mood. $25, that'll get you a pizza and some chicken wings delivered to your house tomorrow for the football game. So, that's what you want to do. Plus, it's $25 won is way better than $25 earned. So money won is always better than money earned, at least my experience, and Paul Newman's experience as well, I think, in The Color of Money. Well, you know what? As a series manager, I know how much series managers love it when the commentating team tries to give suggestions for the series. But I wonder if the success of this car isn't beginning to, maybe there's a chance that they might want to think about running the SK for the Outlaw Modified Series. What do you think, Sean? What do you think the difference is between the two?
Well, okay. So, really, the big difference here on iRacing is the horsepower. But that horsepower translates into tire wear, wear on the track, especially now that we have the dynamic tracks. It will produce a different racing condition. It is, in a sense, a different car. Now, of course, we know a lot of the things match up out in the real racing world. The setup of the cars is a bit different. The SK Modifieds have a smaller tire in diameter and in width, and there's some different suspension parts. But here on iRacing, really the main difference is the is the horsepower. And like I said, that horsepower creates a different racing condition. It also changes the way you drive several of the tracks on the Bootleg Racing League schedule. And I think it would present a challenge to many of them, and it just because it was a little bit different. But I probably suspect that a lot of them, I know the majority of this group are all just pure racers. Soup, they would probably be pretty excited to at least give it a shot, but I haven't heard any grumblings about it, so I don't know that they'll be getting away from the SK anytime soon. I do think they're really excited, though, at the prospect of dirt hitting here for next year and being able to be on the forefront of that. They're really happy about trying to get that series cranked up on Tuesday nights.
And honestly, the series managers have nobody to blame but themselves when they let the announcers have too much time to fill. We start to come up with crazy ideas and only cause trouble when you try to manage the lead, because the last thing you need is a bunch of drivers starting to pipe up and have, because let me tell you, drivers all have crazy ideas. It really takes a dictator to run a good series, and I'm not saying Lowell Jewell is a dictator, but man, he runs a good one here. Certainly has turned this Bootleg Racing series into something pretty darn exciting to watch.
Yeah, it is, and I'll tell you what, the depth through the field, from the very best to the, let's face it, maybe not the best drivers. I don't want to say everybody. There really aren't any not the best drivers in this league. The depth of talent throughout the league has been just incredible. It's displayed every week. You know, we've still got newcomers on the rise. J.R. Shepard is relatively, let's face it, he's still a newcomer around here. He's already got 4 championships under his belt. And Matt LaVenture is here and looks like he's here to stay. You know, there's the future really looks bright. And again, you know, with bringing on another series next year, I know they're looking to televise that Tuesday night series on dirt, and well, the way things look like right now, hopefully it's going to be the Global Sim Racing Channel with them, and you know, we're definitely excited about the prospect of getting dirt here on GSRC. So lots of great things to come. But season 4 next week gets kicked off at old Martinsville, and they'll be fighting for that old clock, Sue.
And I'm going to be fortunate enough to be filling in for that one, so I'll be there with you to call that one. One of the things I got to point out here about this series, and so often when you're on the Global Sim Racing Channel for a while, you start to draw more attention, you start to bring in more competition, and certainly that's happened. But one thing that the series managers have been able to do is keep the camaraderie, the friendship, the overall goodwill between all the drivers. You don't see that back and forth bickering that so often can infect a series and take some of the fun away from the drivers. Okay, it looks like qualifying, the warm-up is just about done. We still can't quite go to the grid yet. Sean, I'm going to ask you to do something here that we usually don't do. Look over the grid. Why don't you make a pick for us today? We have 125 laps. Who do you think when it's all said and done you're going to see getting that checkered flag?
Boy, these guys have known me for too long, Soup.
Yeah. Did I put you on the spot?
Well, they've all known me too long, and it's never quite worked out when I pick somebody. But I'll tell you what. You know what? J.R. Shepard just been a hard man to beat all season. Give me J.R. Shepard tonight.
Yeah, it's hard to go against the guy who, when we did the graphic overlays, you saw his name at the top of every one of those series. I think Matt LaVenture's going to have trouble getting used to this one. Not sure he has the experience to get this one done. Brian Neff in there in second position. Well, why don't we run through the grid right now, and then we can go ahead, let you guys pick your own driver. On the front row, Matt LaVenture and Brian Neff. Sean, row 2?
That's going to be Donnie Moore. Starting on the inside there, J.R. Shepard going to start 4th.
Here's a newcomer, Rich Blake. Another guy we'll have to keep an eye on, see what he has in there. Matt Shanowski in 6th.
And it's going to be old Tim Knott there. The number 41 starts 7th, and Jeff Sharp at the number 49 going to start 8th.
Ralph Connor Jr., and then outside of Ralph Connor was Chip Dickert.
All right, Randy Tesser going to get into the big show this evening, start 11th. Lowell Jewell going to be right there on the outside at 12th.
Couple pre-race interviewers, Mike Holloway and Philip Temples, make up the next row.
And the Big Joe Show, Joe Hassert going to start 15th. Tim Shanotsky going to start 16th.
Mike Allen, much faster than his qualifying position would depict, and Ernie Brown back there in 18th spot. I think Ernie's got a top 10 in him.
Oh, I can't wait to get this thing cranked up, Sue.
All right, that gold-plated Mustang working its way around the back half of this 4/10 of a mile course. It'll be pulling in this time. We are under the lights. The weather is cool. The shirt sleeves are long. The engines are loud, and the action is now. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, hidey-ho. Matt LaVenture dives it into the inside, and he's going to be able to hold on to it. Stuck on the outside. He's got to be careful. It's Brian Neff. Neff really does not want to be caught on the high side, fighting for all he's worth to get down in there. So far, he can't get it done. Neff dives it in deep, and look at that from the outside. Brian Neff is going to be able to close off. Oh, is he going to close the door? I think he is diving in there. Brian, he gets it done. Takes the lead. Nice job from the high sides.
Boy, Neff really finding good power through the middle of the turn and able to now creep away from LaVenture back through the field, though they're still side by side. Just saw the 00 Matt Shinowski make a little contact with the wall in the backstretch there. He's okay, though. Everything good. Everybody else off to a pretty good start.
00 in the
Oh,
wall.
and he's back in the wall. Yeah.
That was on the high side. That was Matt Shinowski. He was worried about getting freight trained, doing the best he could to keep momentum, and the car drifted up. He's got to go in straight. No yellow.
Yeah, and that's Lowell Jewell getting to the inside of Shinowski now. Lowell off to a pretty solid start. Another battle. Got another battle going just behind them. Well, it was Tesser getting past, I think, there by the 77 of Tim Shinowski.
There we go. We look at Tesser right there running in the number 14 machine. Why don't we go ahead and set the stage for you right now as things have settled down a little bit. We'll go up front. Brian Neff starting to distance himself. Almost has a 1 second lead over Matt LaVenture. Now LaVenture seems to be holding up the train here. Behind him in third, Donnie Moore. J.R. Shepard behind him, and then rounding out your top 5 is Rich Blake. But we'll continue because that train is long. 6 places, Tim Knott. Now he's not far behind him as Ralph Connor still in that train. Back to Jeff Sharp in 8th. Then you get to some newcomers. Chip Dicker doing his best to hang in there. Chip trying to run down 8th position right now in a battle with Tim Holloway for 9th. Let's stay on this a bit there as I think Holloway's looking for a way around.
Big Joe Hassert wheel to wheel with Ernie Brown back here. Sorry, Soup. Almost made contact. Joe looks a little tight right now, actually, on entry here, these turns. Ernie, though, stuck up on the outside. Oh, there comes the 59 right there with him. That's Mike Allen.
That's a battle to stay out of the caboose position, and right now Allen is a freight car. Ernie back to the caboose position.
Wow, and our leader's already out of turn 2.
Oh, and
the Shinowskis are battling, yes.
Yeah, and the 00, boy, he's getting familiar with that wall. Matt put it in there one more time, trying to get around Tim. Matt back there, of course, Tim. Mom always liked Tim better. Matt trying to get the win. Tried to get a little love from Mom. At least that's what Matt told me, at least.
Soup, something I'm already starting to see just 15 laps into this race. Our brake rotors lighting up. They are working the brakes on these cars. And quite honestly, they're glowing pretty much the whole way around. That puts heat to the tires, Soup.
Is that actually in the platform, or that will carry over to the rubber?
Oh, we get a caution. That's, oh man.
Ralph Connor, I think, got bumped by Jeff Sharp. Connor got turned into the inside wall, didn't collect anybody else.
And here's what happened. Connor actually was getting loose, coming out of the turn, checked up a little bit, and there was Sharp. Nowhere to go, really. You'll see the car get out of shape right there, and Sharp was just there. Wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep, let's give Jeff the pass on that one. Nothing wrong that time, Jeff. So that brings out the yellow on lap number 16. They're working 17 right now.
Got off to a really solid start there, Soup. They were really turning off some really good laps there.
Brian Neff saying all that hard work thrown away. To get back to the start, Neff was in kind of a do-or-die situation. If he wasn't able to get that lead ahead of LaVenture, if he wasn't able to do that, who knows where he would have fallen back, because they were all lined up nose to tail about 10 cars back. Neff may have never found his spot inside the top 10. Man, he really worked hard to get that car up into the lead.
All right, well, now the lights are out, and we're going to get our first restart. Stoop going to go real quick here. This is a double file restart. Watch out. Here we go.
Something we're not used to seeing. This is something new that they put in. Usually it's a single file restart, I believe. Pace car pulls away. Fortunately for Neff, he has the preferred position. Now let's see if LaVenture can do what Neff did to him. LaVenture trying to pin him down. Nope. Neff comes up, tries to close the door. A little scared to do it. It's going to leave the outside open for LaVenture. LaVenture can't get the drive off, though. Now he's got to be worried about getting caught on the high side, trying to get down in front. He decides to do it, and then he backs out because Donnie Moore was there. So now here's what's going to happen. Watch that 18 machine up top as he's in trouble now, as now here comes the 98 of J.R. Shepard around him. Looks like the 18 is going to be able to drop in finally for fourth.
Yeah, he got swallowed up there by Donnie Moore and J.R. Shepard, all now trying to get their way. Donnie Moore going to try and hook up with Brian Neff. Oh boy, have we seen this battle before on a Saturday night. We got some dudes up there at the front right now, and you know what? Don't look now, but Rich Blake is sitting there in 5th place, holding it down, but he's got a charge here from Tim Knott on the inside, going into 1.
Blake almost able to close the door up on the high side in the 4 machine, but not the 41 is on the inside, and he keeps them high. They make a little contact, they get a little bump. That'll be enough to push Blake out of the way, and using his elbow to get that 5th spot is Tim Knott.
Great job by Rich Blake hanging on to the car there.
Let's drop back a couple positions. In 8th position in the 15 machine is Holloway, stuck on the high side in that 5 machine. Well, you know who that is. It's Lowell Jewell. Lowell Jewell stuck up there. Now he's in a battle as the car on the inside is Tim Shanaski. Looks like Joel's going to be able to do it and drop. You know, Joel doesn't want to get that car in. In fact, look, he took it in too deep and lost the spot. I don't know if the car just wouldn't turn for him or if he likes the high line.
Well, it is still all about taking care of the tires, but they're coming awful fast, and Jules got to do something to try and get in line here because he just keeps getting past. Now he's got the other Shanowski just to the inside of him. Here comes Matt, making his way under. Don't look now. There's Big Joe Hassert back there, making his way up through the field. He's on the inside of Old Jewel now, heading down into turn 1.
Jewel is in trouble. A little more contact there. The number 1 bangs into him. 8 are better than 4, and that means that Jewel is going to drop back to 13th position and falling. Now he gets tagged, and around he goes, and on the way he says, Tesser, you're going to tag me. I'm going to catch you as you go by. Those 2 cars go into the wall.
And Lowell got T-boned by the number 9 there of Ralph Connor. Poor Ralph didn't have anywhere to go on that. It certainly wasn't his fault.
Looking at it on the replay, poor Ralph didn't have anywhere to go. You can see that Tesser got into the back of Lowell, turned them, and then as Lowell got loose, he got into the back of Tesser. And then poor Lowell, he'll have to use that fast repair right here on lap 32.
Lowell was trying to turn the car down. It was, running up the track. He was trying to turn the car down, and Tesser was just right there. His car was starting to come up just a little bit up off the bottom line, on board with Ralph Connor here. Don't know that you can see it up that close in front of him, but the hit he has there with Lowell, certainly not a fun one. That's going to slow things down just a bit here at lap 33, Soup. But man, it's been all Brian Neff so far. This time he's going to have to restart with Donnie Moore out on the outside there and J.R. Shepard right behind him. This restart's going to be fun.
Yeah, we've seen 2 restarts, or 2 starts really so far, double fault. We have 1 start and 1 restart. The first one was LaVenture inside of Neff, and Neff got the better of that one. The next one was Neff inside of LaVenture, and again, Neff got the best of it. But now, like you said, if he's got a veteran outside of him, Donnie Moore, I would expect Donnie not to give Brian quite as much room as Matt gave him before. See if Donnie can squeeze him down there and try to get a runoff. Donnie probably knows this is my best chance to get the lead.
No, I would imagine it's going to be a very spirited restart to this race, dude.
And then you're the guy who was champion in all 3 series in the summer session here in 2016, J.R. Shepard, starting on the inside of row 2, and your pole sitter going to be on the outside, Matt LaVenture.
All right, and they're lining up, going side by side. The lights are out, buddy.
Let's see what kind of jump that car on the high side can get. The 26 machine of Donnie Moore. He's a champion. Look at Moore easing out as far as he can. A great jump from Neff. Neff gets, as soon as the pace car pulls off, Neff was on the gas, and he's into the first corner easily. That means Donnie Moore's going to tuck into second. Shepard's going to lock into third. Following suit, Matt LaVenture. Now stuck on the high side is the 4 car. Let's see what can happen there. You got to watch out. That is Richie Blake. Doesn't want to get stuck out top.
We got more trouble here at the back, too.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Mike Allen goes around.
Oh, and then he got collected by Randy Tesser.
Randy Tesser, yeah.
Plenty of time to see him there. Now,
just got loose.
I don't mind getting loose. I'm not sure where Randy was going. Maybe we can go on board with Tesser.
Well, Randy, honestly, I don't think he slowed up quite enough, and the car starts to run up the track naturally there. Now, he was stopped in the middle of the track, but I think maybe he was still just carrying a little bit too much speed right here.
When you go in the car, it gives you a different perspective. You can see, well, he did get on him pretty quick. I always like to give the benefit of the doubt to the driver. So, Randy, I'm gonna say you got caught by surprise there.
Wow. Well, that escalated quickly.
Okay, well, now we're going to get the Mike Allen, I think, is going to get the weight. He's out there smoking. I'm not sure. He may have used up his fast repair already.
He is on his way back out. That was his first pit stop.
All right, here we go. So Donnie Moore is going to get one more shot at this restart. See what he can do. Maybe he learned a lesson. What he learned was that Brian Neff doesn't necessarily wait that long when the pace car pulls in.
Yeah, but will that be the play next time? See,
yeah, that's right.
Neff is very calculated, so he's going to keep him guessing. Trust me, Donnie's driven around Neff long enough that there's no sure bet. On that last restart, in all fairness, Donnie was right on it with Neff. He did not fall asleep on that start. He got off to a good one there. It wasn't bad at all.
Now, Sean, it's been a while since I've covered an Outlaw series, but they usually go single file restarts. Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
They have, and they will be going back to double file restarts here for season 4.
I think they, as we watched the pace car work his way around, I think they were double fire for a while, and then things got a little cranky. All right, the pace car pulls in, and that gives the okay for Brian Neff to go. Pace car in, Brian Neff goes, and he jumps out in front. But here's what's interesting. It was the car on the inside, J.R. Shepard, able to get around Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore stuck on the high side. Now Matt LaVenture trying to duck that number 18 machine in there as well. Moore has a good run out of 4. He's going to be able to get in line, now fall into 3rd. LaVenture stays in 4th, not in 5th. On the high side, let's go back a little bit more. The 15 machine, that's Mike Holloway, caught on the high side. He's got the 77 of Tim Shinoski underneath him. Holloway now looking for a way to get down in there. Holloway fights back. Look at Holloway drive that car in deep. We stay on that 15 and 77 battle. Holloway gets a loose coming off. Sean, they're still side by side.
Yes, they are, and Holloway getting a really nice run up there. Gets another good run there across the start-finish line. Got to look out for the machine of Chip Dickert, though. Dickert is battling right back there. Holloway settled in line now, though, behind the 77 of Tim Shinoski. Just behind them, Matt Shinoski is in a little battle of his own. There with Big Joe Hassert stuck up on the outside. Those two going into 3, side by side out of 4. Hassert not getting a good enough run there to make a difference, but he's going to keep the car up the track.
They're seeing the 11th position we look at right now. Good fighting. Oh, he gets high.
I'm sorry, it was Dickert. Actually, I called Hassard. I meant to say Dickert with the trouble there in the turn. Moves up the track. That does let.
Let's go up to the lead.
Big Joe,
Let's go.
yep.
Let's go. I think we got somebody poking his nose in here, and it's J.R. Shepard. He got a great run off of 4, had a run at him into 1, not able to close the door. Poor Brian Neff, he's had a different car behind him all race. First it was LaVenture, then it was Moore, and now he's got J.R. Shepard. The only difference is Shepard has been able to stick with him the whole way. Shepard in that number 98 machine. Let's watch what he does. He likes to get a good drive off of 4 and then dive it in deep. Not going to happen. May have used up some of his tires. May have to just wait a bit, cool it off, try it one more time. But Sean, it looks like Shepard has the pace to stay with Neff.
He does. Now this is that point of the race. Made that little note there on lap 50. We've got 53 in the books. This track is starting to change just a little bit. Neff having to take a little bit better care of the car.
Shepard.
On board with Shepard here.
Shepard really starting to saw at the wheel. You don't want to use up your stuff, but boy, he would like to get around him. Brian Neff out there in front. With a long race like this, if we can stay green, some lap traffic could come into play, but it's not going to happen yet. It's a 4-car battle up in front. Neff, hey, Shepard, go ahead.
I was going to say, LaVenture back here turning up the wick a little bit on Donnie. He's starting to kind of get all up in his mirror, and Donnie, his car's starting to maybe move up the turn just a little bit every time.
LaVenture in 4th has a little bit of a gap back to Tim Knott and Richie Blake. Good racing all the way through. Everybody now pretty much single file. We're looking for one-on-one passes going around here. Things have sorted themselves out a little, so we should be able to jump on passes when they happen. But right now, I think we really need to keep the attention right here where we are with this LaVenture and Moore, and then just up ahead of them, a nice battle for the lead, Brian Neff and J.R. Shepard. Shepard, I think, has cooled off his tires a bit. Let's see if he starts to put the pressure back on. Here it is. There's the drive off of 4 like he did before, but he just couldn't get the power down. But you can see him really working. That's his spot.
Boy, Shepard really got loose out of turn 4, gathered it back up. Still got Neff in his sights.
I think Shepard is beginning to get the timing down. I think he's faster through 3 and 4. The problem is he can't be too close because then he's balked. He gives himself a little bit of room. He tries to get a run so he can have a little momentum down the front straight. But now coming into the picture, Shepard's not going to be able to play around too much because here comes Moore again.
Yeah, and LaVenture still right there, just part of the action in the show and in it big time right now. I think any one of those 4 cars right now, go Neff with a little bit of contact. Saw some sparks flying off the right side of that Winn-Dixie 60.
So the front 4 still run nose to tail, but what has happened is Neff has not been able to pull away. They started to gap Donnie Moore a little bit more, able to bring it right back in, and now it's a 4-car battle. Moore is looking back there. And if Shepard makes a move on the inside, oh, Donnie gets a little bit loose. Now they're side by side trying to make it work on the high side. It's the 18 machine. There goes LaVenture with some momentum around the high side. Got a new driver into 3rd, and it is Matt LaVenture. Donnie Moore drops back into 4th.
Boy, he did have some good momentum there, and that's a really, really nice move by him. But just up in front of them, J.R. Shepard is really putting the pressure on Brian Neff now. Neff has got to really stay focused here because J.R. Shepard is really looking to make trouble.
Yeah, that pass for 3rd is probably bad news for Brian Neff because now Shepard can play around with a little more freedom. He doesn't have to worry about losing a position. He can start to punch and poke it at Neff and see where he can get him. The 98 machine is really good through 3.
Oh,
in fact, he gives it he's so good he says a little bit hello there as they go through 4. And look at that, almost like it carried, almost like it broke Neff's momentum. Even through 1 and 2, Neff was high.
Well, I don't know that I ever remember seeing the rotors on these modifieds just light up the way they are right now. Hassard
had back on lap number 69. Hassard coming out of 2 just got loose. He was following Matt Shinowski, looped it into the inside wall for a little touch. There you see it on screen. Big Joe in the pits. I think that's probably his race. I know there's other racing through the field, but I got to stay on this because I really got a hunch that Shepard is going to make a move on Neff any second.
He's going to try, Soup. The operative word, try.
See, but here now, you saw LaVenture was farther back. He got around Donnie Moore. Now Donnie Moore has fallen off the pace. It's become a 3-car battle. But once again, Shepard's got to be careful now that LaVenture doesn't capitalize on a Shepard mistake as Shepard tries to get around Neff. This is a great 3-car battle up here.
Still so much time left to go in this race, though. I mean, it's only a lap 75 as they come across Soup. We've still got a long way to go.
Past the halfway mark, and the tires should really be starting to go away from him right now. I think it's clear that Neff is not as fast as Shepard. We've seen cars go wire to wire before, but going wire to wire is
Yeah, Neff's car got really, really wicked out of 2. You could bet he's digging Soup. I mean, again, he's had a mirror full of J.R. Shepard for many, many laps now, and that can't be very comfortable. I mean, Shepard we know is the hot guy right now, the hot shoe in the league.
You hate to leave this battle. We're going to quickly go back and look at some guys who are coming up. Tim Knott is beginning to run down Donnie Moore. We'll keep an eye on that lead. Dickard, oh my, he's looped it. He's rolling it.
Chip going for a wild ride down the front stretch. Oh, and he gets clipped. Let's check it out on the replay here. Try and see what happened.
That was Ernie Brown who just to get around him. Now the yellow car gets around him, and here's Ernie. Oh!
Yeah, Chip just gets too much power out of turn 4, and the car goes up into the wall. Going to see what happens here with Ernie Brown. Just can't get by.
Yeah. There we
wow,
go.
You know what? Maybe there wasn't any contact there. That was awful close.
Might have caught him with the bar there. Didn't get any damage. Well, Sean, I'm not sure if I'm J.R. Shepard. I'm happy with this yellow. I think I was feeling pretty good where I was running right behind Brian Neff. Now I'm going to be side by side with him. Yeah, side by side is always better than front to back, but you're side by side on the high side. You are in jeopardy of losing that spot to Matt LaVenture.
This restart is going to be fun. I got to say, I'm a fan of the double file restart. It is certainly made for some interesting racing here. They've been able to keep it clean. I don't honestly think the restarts have been responsible for any of the cautions we've had this evening. This is certainly making a good case for returning to that format.
They had it, and it certainly was exciting, but then they found that it brought out a few too many yellows, but certainly tonight is making a good showing, and they could bring it back in, see how it works. If it doesn't work out, they can always take it away like they did before.
I certainly think most local modified tracks, or local short tracks, not just modified tracks, would be more than pleased with the way this evening's unfolded.
Okay, there goes. Getting the wave around now. Mike Allen running in 14th position. He'll be the last car on the lead lap. Chip Dickard, Joe Hassard, Randy Tesser, and Philip Temples all calling it a day. 14 cars out, all on the lead lap. Gathering up now behind the pace car. Whoops.
LaVenture side by side with Donnie Moore as they get restarted. Neff gets a really good restart to this race. Good battling back here, though, for third position. Donnie Moore all the way up the track. Just behind him before Rich Blake has to get out of it. He drops 2 positions.
There's $1 in the jar for being on replay. Missing that restart. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for helping out there. Sean Neff out in front. Shepard in second. LaVenture in third. Moore, and then Tim Knott.
Boy, J.R. Shepard all the way up there on Neff's bumper. Doesn't want to quite put the chrome horn to him, but it's sure tempting.
40 laps, 30 laps to go. There he's going to give him a little bit of a touch. Just let him know that he's here. Shepard, really good through 3 and 4. Not so good through 1 and 2, but he really likes to be 3 and 4 and then down the main straight. Oh, LaVenture loses a little bit of ground, ducking to the inside. Donnie Moore trying to get that spot back. Let's see those guys go side by side. Cialis bathtubs across the start-finish line.
Oh, Jewel going for a wild ride in turn 1.
He saves it, he loses it, he collects it. He got collected a little bit there by the number 8 machine. Ernie Brown again. People keep spinning in front of him.
You know, I called that as Lowell Jewell. That was actually the 4 of Rich Blake.
No, I think Lowell Jewell was also involved, though, too, back there. So nice call. You must have been psychic.
Yeah, well, they were both running yellow cars. It was actually Rich had trouble after Lowell.
Yeah, but Lowell also spun. So nice call, Sean, as both those yellow cars. Clearly not the color to be. Usually it's green that is unlucky, but I guess yellow is the bad color tonight.
Yeah, kind of strange how that all unfolded.
You could just see in that replay, you can see Lowell Jewell get loose right ahead of there, and there goes Blake.
Yeah, just up in front of him, and then poor Ernie Brown, more bad luck. He clips Lowell Jewell. He had nowhere to go. So it did start with Jewell, and then unfortunately it ended with Rich Blake.
Okay, well, I fast-forwarded my replay now. I am up to the current time, which is very important if you're doing some announcing here, especially if you want to call when they go green. Poor Brian Neff. How many times is he going to have to hold these guys off? You got J.R. Shepard to the outside. This time he's got LaVenture underneath him in third. Donnie Moore back there.
All right, here's the good news for Brian Neff. We're running out of time. The laps are winding down.
Well, I don't know if that's good news or not, because I think it's just a matter of time before J.R. Shepard starts to take extreme measures to get around him.
You just said it, extreme. I mean, Soup, what do you always say about passing? He's shown he can get to Neff. What's he got to do to pass him?
Got to milk the rooster, and that's the hard part. Starts after you catch him, and that's what's going on right here. Brian Neff harder to pass than a $3 bill.
Yeah, Neff is motivated to win. We heard it in the interview with him. He sounded like a guy that was serious about this event tonight, and so far it's been all business for Mr. Neff. The butcher is he's brought his tools with him this evening.
Out there, car number 60. He's been in front ever since he got around LaVenture on the very first lap. The pace car is in. There's another early jump. Shepard tries to get some momentum this time. He dives to the outside on 1 and 2. Let's see if he can get some momentum coming down the back straight. Now he's looking to the inside. Does he dive it in there? Not yet. He just can't get it done with 30 laps to go with it across the start-finish line right now. LaVenture in third, and Donnie Moore rounding out the top 4. On the high side, let's go back a little bit, Sean. Look at that, the 49 machine. Jeff Sharp caught up high.
Oh, and then contact just behind them. Oh, the 59.
Is it Ernie Brown in it again? Ernie Brown and Lowell Jewell, I guess, right? No, Ernie Brown and Mike Allen. Ernie Brown just can't seem to get away from the
No, he just can't. He winds up on his lid there. Mike Allen up in the wall.
That one Ernie kind of squeezed him up, Hop. Didn't leave Mike much where to go on that one.
Here we are on board there with Mike Allen. Gets just squeezed up there. Climbs the wall, able to get it back down on the ground. And he goes up again. He's finally sixth to landing. Soup, how many times has Neff got to do this to get a win tonight?
It's like playing Russian roulette. Eventually, the chamber's going to come up full. So far, he's able to stay out there and dodge the bullet that is J.R. Shepard.
Well, Sue, let's run through the field here real quick. Got the leaderboard up. Neff in the lead. Hasn't given it up since that, let's face it, the end of the first lap. J.R. Shepard, Matt LaVenture, Donnie Moore, Tim Knott. That's a pretty good group of racers there in the top 5, my friend.
Absolutely. Then we go back a little bit farther. Mike Holloway, pre-race interview, we talked about him, up to 6th position, started in 13th. Jeff Sharp running in 7th. Tim Chinaski started 16th, up 8 spots into 8th. His brother Matt not doing quite so well. Started 6th, back to 9th, and then rounding out the top 10, Ralph Connor. Pace car, lights are off. We are up to the current time. The pace car works around the back straight. The American Childhood Cancer Organization, that beautiful gold-plated Mustang, reflecting off those halogen lights. It dives in, and that's the cue for Neff to go. And he doesn't miss the cue right now as he dives that number 98 machine up. Oh, there it comes. Looking on the inside there, J.R. Shepherd with a good run this time, not going to force the issue. 2 by 2 behind him, Sean.
Oh, we got cars in the wall just behind, out of turn 4.
Ralph Connor, no, yes, it's Ralph Connor and the 00 of... Who is in the 00 there? That is Matt Shanowski, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Shanowski getting caught up in that. We're on the replay now. Focusing on Ralph Connor there. A little bit of contact there with the 17, and Ralph Connor hits that wall hard. I think that might end his night too, if I remember. Well, that's his first pit stop. Maybe he didn't get caught up in anything earlier, but man, that's heavy damage. Riding on board with Matt Shanowski here. That car gets way up in the air.
And just like the flower children of the 60s having some acid flashbacks, I think now we're trying to get an idea of why maybe the 2 wide restarts were abandoned. As we are starting to pick up
I just did half a segment on how much I really like the return of the double file restarts.
Yeah, well, it's all starting to come back to me now.
It is debate season, isn't it? Literally.
Okay, well, it's not going to change before this race is over. We know that much. Hey, Sean, what time is it?
Soup, it is time to boogie. Let's get this party going, baby. I am ready to get this one in the books and give somebody $25.
I recommend call up the pizza place, get some chicken wings to come with it.
I recommend the new Audi on iRacing if you haven't purchased that yet, or the new Nissan. They're both beasts of a car. And for anybody out there that likes a little bit of drifting, that Audi is a fine little drifter.
You can get them both for the prize of this winnings. And the pace car is going to go around one more time. We're going to have 18 to go as they cross the line right now. When they go green, it's going to be 17. All right, they double up. Well, the shepherd has been minding his flock, and it's been very patient, but I think the wolves are at the door now. Watch for JR to be a little more aggressive. See if he can give Neff a little nerfy move out of the way. Look at the jump. Oh, he mistimed it. Oh, JR tried to jump it, but he didn't quite get it.
What a start by Neff. Damn, shot out of a cannon.
JR wanted to go and thought better of it, so now he tucks into second place. Donnie Moore has the inside. LaVenture up on the high side in that yellow machine. Looks like he's going to be able to tuck it. It's green. Looks like he's going to be able to tuck that citrus-colored car inside. Nope. He's going to fight Tim Knott looking to get inside there. I think Knott's going to get him. LaVenture gets a nice drive off. Puts it in the wall.
LaVenture up in the wall.
And that's going to give the spot to Knott. Meanwhile, up in front, everything stays the same. 15 laps to go. It is still Neff, Shepherd, Moore, and now Knott. LaVenture still stuck on the high side in that 18 machine, trying to get it down. Now he's got the 15 underneath him of Mike Holloway. 2 by 2 behind him, nothing going up in front. Holloway trying to dive that car in. They don't make contact. Some pretty good racing there, Sean.
Yeah, it is, and Holloway still digging on the inside of LaVenture. 2 by 2. I mean, just great race. LaVenture tries to get it in there. He can't. Holloway is digging, trying to get up here into the top 5. He's just about pulled off. He has. He's going to get crossed over by LaVenture. Looking back to the inside into 3. Almost contact. He's got to move up the track. What a great battle. LaVenture takes it back, and he can't get to the inside. That move cannot be pulled off by Holloway.
That just goes to show you how much trouble Shepherd is going to have getting around Neff when Shepherd can even get up there. But right now, it's still Neff out in front. Now, they're coming up on a back march, a rich break. Blake's got to get that car out of the way. He's a newcomer, but I think he's going to know how to do it. He's looking to get that number 4 machine. Probably will want to take the high side. If I were you, Rich, let's see what you do here. They'll be on you pretty soon, but right now, with 9 to go, it's Brian Neff out in front. J.R. Shepard right behind him. Neff trying to be perfect, hitting his marks. Driving like a kidney stone, very hard to pass. But right behind him is J.R. Shepard. Shepard now with a great run, looking for somewhere to go. I think he may have to give a little encouragement to Neff.
Yeah, I think encouragement is what it's going to take to pull it off. Neff really on the hammer right now, though. He is almost makes it look like he's driving away at times, but Shepard's keeping it in the mirror. Donnie Moore really falling off pace. I think this is the point of the race where we're really seeing the effect of the tires, Soup. We've only got 5 to go this time by.
And they're coming up behind Rich Blake. Will Blake play a factor as they cross the line right now? There is 5 to go. Neff out in front. J.R. Shepard looking for somewhere to do it. He had 3 championships from last season. Wants to wrap up this season with a nice finish here. Good. To do it, he's going to have to get around Brian Neff as they start to close in on the number 4 machine. Where's Richie going to do it with 4 to go? There's still plenty of time for Shepard to get it done. Blake keeps the car on the high side. Here comes the leaders coming around. Neff dives underneath. Blake does a good job of getting that car out of the way. Shepard beginning to lose touch now with 3 to go, Sean.
3 to go, and Neff is in control. The man was, I said it again, he seemed very serious in that interview. Been all business tonight for the Butcher. He's going to lead him around just a couple more times here, Sue.
Through 4 as they come, they get the white flag this time. Brian Neff out in front saying, if you can't touch me, you can't catch me. Neff trying to keep the interval. Last chance for Shepard. He's going to have to dive it in deep. He gives it all his worth. He tries to get a bite on 4. Not going to happen. The winner of the Lawrence Towing Champion Shootout goes to Brian Neff. Shepard in second. Donnie Moore in third. Tim Knott and Matt LaVenture round out the top 5. Let the fireworks fly.
And how about that run by Tim Knott to get himself up there in the top 5? Great racing tonight throughout the field. Mike Holloway also going to be happy with that finish. But, you know, tonight it's really not about the podium. It's all about the winner. This was a champion shootout, and the Butcher pulls it off. Old Neffy there with a win there and the Winn-Dixie 60. Burning down those tires, cutting those donuts here amidst the fireworks. What a great night here for the Bootleg Racing League.
Wow. Catch our breath. What we're going to do is take a short break. This is going to be our final break. We're going to come back, run down the entire standings, do one last set of driver interviews, close up shop, and we'll see you next season. Back in just a few. We've arrived, and to prove it, we're here. Global Sim Racing Channel back for the final time. The post-race coverage of the Lawrence Towing Champions Shootout, powered by the Bootleg Racing League. And Sean, boy, it was exciting. Let's run down the finishing order. Your winner, basically wire to wire after he was able to take the lead from Matt LaVenture on the first couple corners, Brian Neff. Everyone took a shot at him. The last one to have a shot was J.R. Shepard. Couldn't get it done. Donnie Moore had his chance. Couldn't get it done either, finishing third. Tim Knott in fourth. Matt LaVenture had an early shot to get the lead back. Couldn't do it. Going to round out in the top 5. Mike Holloway up from 13th position, 7 spots into 6th. Jeff Sharp going to finish in 7th position. Matt Shanowski going to come home in the snowman spot. Is right ahead of little brother Tim Shanowski in 9th. And then the old man, Lowell Jewell, in 10th.
Boy, he's going to love that you called him that. He'd be the first to remind you he is not old. Rich Blake going to come home tonight in 11th place. And then Ralph Connor Jr. going to finish 10th. Ernie Brown, boy, we talked about Ernie and the luck he had this evening. Poor guy, they just abused him this evening out there, Soup. And going to take a 13th place finish, 30 laps down. And then we'll go back to Mike Allen, 14th. Chip Dickert, 15th. Big Joe Hassert, tough night for him. Tough debut here in the Tour Modified, 16th. Randy Tesser going to finish 17th. And Philip Temples, tough night for him. It was great to talk to him, but he is going to have to take that last spot, so 18th place.
Okay, let's bring in our main event winner here today. Second place qualifier, I believe, and he's going to get the win in the main event, Brian Neff. Brian, congratulations. Pretty much wire to wire. Were you a little worried out early there that you're going to get caught out and freight trained back?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a long run there in the beginning. I was hoping to put some cars between me and I think it was Donnie at the beginning. But just as I started catching the back of the pack, the caution came out.
Yeah, well, you had Matt LaVenture on the inside of you on the very first lap, and man, you're the only guy who could make that pass on a restart from the outside. We saw plenty of restarts, and only one guy was able to do it, and it was you, and I think that's what earned you the win.
Yeah, I knew I was going to have to get it early because here, if you can just hold your line, you guys saw at the end there for a while, JR had better tires than I did, and all I had to do was hold my line, and with as old as our tires were, he wasn't going to try it on the outside.
It looks like he was a little bit stronger there for a while until they started to go away. Through 3 and 4, had a couple of runs inside you. Could you feel him down the front straight, get close to you a few times?
Yeah, I think there was 2 times he got on the inside of me. I was just chatting with him up there, and that driving it hard in, he said his front tires started going away with like 10 laps to go, and that's what happens. I was trying to brake early and get in and just hold my line and make him work for it, and he made me work for it.
He gave you the lub tap maybe once, maybe twice, but really didn't beat you up too much, did he?
No, it was a good clean race. I think we only touched like twice, and it wasn't even enough to move my car at all or anything. So it was a good race, really was.
Well, Brian, this is the way you like to finish out the season, get some nice momentum coming up as we open up for the next round in just 1 week. You're going to be there?
I got one more break to take, and then I'll be back. I'll be back for the second race this season.
All right, Brian. Congratulations. Sean, are you good?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. I was going to say Soup. Yeah, actually, Neff's not going to be with us for the next race. He'll be serving a penalty there for that first race of the next season. But, Neff, great win tonight. I said you were pretty serious during that interview. It looked like all business tonight. You were pretty focused, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I put a lot of laps in this week, and I knew I could qualify up front. I didn't know exactly where I would end up, and I was just hoping to ride it out to the end, and I got lucky at the beginning and got the lead on the outside. I knew it would stick on the outside with fresh tires at the beginning of the race, and I only had that one shot, and I took it. But hey, guys, I don't want to take up a bunch of your time. I want to thank Lawrence Towing and Virtual Grip Network. This is an awesome deal Lowell put together. I mean, what a great event.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks a lot. Brian Neff, your winner here today. Put me on suspension. What am I going to do? I'm going to come in and win your darn shootout, champion shootout. That's what I say if I'm on suspension. Way to go, Brian Neff. All right, let's talk to J.R. Shepard. Sean, go ahead. Second place finisher today.
JR, what a race, man. That was quite a show you put on for us there. That battle with Neff was great. The restarts were so critical. It seemed like poor Neff had to deal with somebody else in his mirror every time, but you gave most of the fight this evening. How did it feel? How did the car feel out there?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun tonight. That track was slick. Laid down quite a bit of rubbered up real good, and I tried to give Neff a run for it there, especially on the restarts. And I actually had, in my opinion, I think I had a couple of good restarts there compared to what I usually do, but just ran out of laps there. I really needed a long run to try to do anything with him.
Yeah, and it did seem like there was that one moment there where you had just it looked like you had better tires than he did, and even Neff talked about it in his interview. You had an opportunity, and it just seemed to at some point finally give up on you. Certainly a challenge going 125 laps as opposed to the 100.
Yeah, it definitely was. I really tried to save the tires early on, was mostly riding for the better part of the race there, and when it got go time I tried to go, and it seemed the harder I pushed the car, the more the front tires wanted to chatter going into the corner, so I really had to back it up, and I lost some time to Neff, and was able to chase him back down, but ran out of time.
Well, hey man, it was a great season for you. You sweep the championships. You've got 4 under your belt. You put on a good show here tonight. Season 4, you looking forward to that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I keep telling, or I think I said it during our last interview, this season seems like it's been the season of bad luck for everybody. Some had it more than others, so hopefully we can get that monkey off of everybody's back, and we can get back to some good racing and have some close points finishes.
Well, JR, you're going to be mixing it up at Martinsville in 1 week's time. You're going to have a big target on your back, buddy. We wish you the best.
Thanks, Sean. And hey, I want to give a shout out to virtualgrip.net for sponsoring the race tonight. And if nobody's checked that out, I encourage them to go over there and take a look at it. And of course, Lawrence Towing for everything they've done for us this season.
All right. Well, that was JR Shepard, and we thank him for taking a moment with us. We're going to talk to Donnie Moore just real quick. Donnie finishes third tonight. Soup, I think you caught up with him real quick.
I do. Donnie, you had a couple chances to do it there from those restarts from the outside. There was only one guy who could make that outside line work on the restart, and that was the winner, Brian Neff. Just couldn't get that done out there. He was tough on that inside spot.
Yeah. Hey, before I talk about that, geez, what a great event tonight. Really hats off to Lowell Jewell for putting it on. I think it was a great success. Thanks to Lawrence Towing and virtualgrip.net for their support. So what a great event, and what some great racing. Neff was very prepared. I know he had a lot of laps this week under his belt, and he was very determined to come in and win this race. And hats off to Matt LaVenture too. Him and I, boy, battled. You wait for one little bobble and you got to make your move, and that's great racing. Hey, let me tell you something about J.R. Shepard here. I'm looking at the stats here, and everybody's fast lap is listed. Neff's fast lap was third lap. Mine was 5, and going down the line is 2.7, 2.47, 3.34. What do you think J.R. Shepard's fast lap was?
Somewhere around 120 or so?
Let me tell you, lap 112 was J.R.'s fast lap. And that tells you a lot. That's the kind of racer he is. He saves his stuff. He's very fast at the end. So good for him.
Yeah, that was a great interview, Don. You did it all yourself. That was perfect. Hey, we start the good way to wrap up the season. Sean and I couldn't agree more, and Joe, the director as well. We were saying what a great event this is. We'd like to ditto everything that you just said about Lowell putting on this show. How's next season look for you? Going to be back here next week when we get the next season run started up?
I'm looking forward to it too, and I'll tell you what we did tonight was fun. Was the double file restarts. I'm looking forward to double file restarts. It just makes the racing that much more fun. So really looking forward to next season. We had a tough season this year, this past season, so we're really looking forward to putting the SPCA back in the winner's circle. And I love racing for the animals. And you know what I say, spay and neuter your pets.
Thank you very much. Doing a little Bob Barker there as he leaves us. Donnie Moore, nice job. Okay, we're going to have one last interview, and I think this guy, Sean, if anybody deserves to be interviewed today, it is this guy. The guy who put this whole thing on, who gets the whole thing organized. Lowell Jewell, Sean, go ahead.
Lowell, I think everything went right on time this evening. Got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it went a lot smoother than I expected it to. I lost my right-hand man before we even got started. His computer crashed on him, so I was kind of holding my breath and doing all this by myself tonight.
Yeah, that kind of threw a big wrinkle into the mix with you. You talk about your right-hand man, Matt Hoos, who has been helping you out here administering the league for quite a long time, and I know not having him in there was well. Let's pull back the curtain just a little bit. You have to set up those races. We get done with that first heat race or that qualifying session. You've got to go out and set up the next one and make sure everything's right. A lot of detail, a lot of things to pay attention to there.
Yeah, in the format that we used, I wish there was an easier way to do it, but I had to manually set the grid. One racer by one racer. It took a little time, but everything seemed to go pretty good, and you guys obviously done a good job.
Well, thank you, Lowell, and we're going to wrap things up here, but we want to thank you for bringing this event to us. So we're looking forward to doing this again. We all universally agreed this format was great, just like heading out to the track on a Saturday night. Except you don't have to pay that $20 to $30 to get in, and you don't have to pay as much for beverages and a little bit of food. So a lot of fun. We can't wait till the next one. I can't wait to get to Martinsville next week. Soup's going to be on board with me, and we're going to kick things off for season 4. You got to be excited about that.
I'm always excited about Soup being around. Oh, you meant about the race? Yeah, I'm very excited about Martinsville. We always start our seasons there, and it's always a good race. And look forward to being back with you guys, and also look forward to having Lawrence Towing back and virtualgrip.net.
Yes, we definitely look forward to their sponsorship and having them affiliated with us. And Soup, I certainly know you've had a little bit of fun here tonight with this event.
Couldn't have gone better. It was great. Lowell, congratulations. I thought it was a big success. Looking forward to doing this again.
Oh, and by the way, Lowell had to race tonight, too. We forgot to add in, didn't we, Sue?
Yes, he did, and managed to top 10 there. This snuck it in the top 10, so good job from him.
Yeah, I snuck it in. That's exactly how I got in the top 10.
All right, Lowell, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Full disclosure, what I'd like to do to get full immersion, I like to take my car, park it on the neighbor's lawn, and I give him $10 before every race, just to really get the feel of going to the track. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Lawrence Towing, they service Indianapolis, Indiana area there and neighboring communities. If you'd like to find out more about them, call Lawrence Towing. If you find yourself in need of a tow, Lawrence Towing is the way to go. All right, Sean?
Yes, sir. And we can't forget Virtual Grip Network. It's a blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing. At virtualgrip.net, you can stay up to date on what's happening in iRacing and keep up with the top World Championship Series, including the Blanc Pond GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series. Virtual Grip Network, and you can find them at iRacing News and Reports, virtualgrip.net, and on Facebook /Virtual Grip.
And I've been hearing from the director that when I'm not around, you actually do not sing the jingle. Come on, you got to put in 100%. Thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Outlaw Modified series and all the other series that we cover here today. That we're all here on Global Sim Racing Channel. For more series information about the Bootleg Racing League, and I recommend you do that because there's a lot of good stuff there. Go to facebook.com/Bootleg Racing League or BootlegRacingLeague.com is also a good place to go. And you know what? Fans can read weekly race recaps written by Chris Wolfson. Man, that is hard to say. I knew it was going to be hard to say. I got it through there at iRacing News and virtualgrip.net.
And thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen now that we use here on our broadcast. Certainly, you don't want to forget about them.
The original music that you heard on today's broadcast is from Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
All right, and next week, the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series returns for their Season 4 debut, Saturday, October the 1st. You better be there. Soup and crackers will be looking for you.
For more information about all GSRC events, go to GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Finally, on behalf of Crackers and myself, Joe Peak, our director, and the camera artist, Dougie Beard, thanks all of you for watching. And now that we've cleaned the place up and locked the gate, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.